What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a regularly scheduled Hostilities, episode 101, with your host, Chuck Winchester, with your host, Yvonne Borden, with your current reigning defending for a year, if not more,
a little bit over.
Josh the Board. Welcome back to Release Hostilities, your favorite wrestling Thursday night show, and we got a lot going on tonight. We have returns. We have at least 2 returns to my knowledge.
Yep.
We have beatdowns backstage. Adam Cole. And, all kinds of awesome stuff to talk about tonight. So thanks for joining in. And if you would like to, I would appreciate all of the chats, all of the opinions. You can hit us right there in the comments. Just hit comment and type your stuff, and we'll respond to it accordingly. All I ask is that it's like, not dumb. But, whatever works.
Stuff that makes sense, please.
All right, guys, so let's just get right into it, man. Josh, champion, RSH. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we have a pay-per-view this Sunday, Hell in a Cell. So we have those predictions coming up here towards the later half of the show. And, spoiler alerts.
I think there's
Chuck Winchester.
I think there's going to be a lot of similar picks.
I think so, too.
I would agree.
I think so,
my
too.
expectations for I don't say SummerSlam. Hell in a Cell could not honestly be lower. Not based off the matches. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Sure.
But there's nothing. I don't expect any crazy changes.
Nah, man.
No big returns. This is the last pay-per-view without fans.
Yep. That's
So-
yep.
That's the only bright spot. And I'm looking forward to the Mick Foley on the Broken Skull afterwards. So
Oh yeah.
that's
That'd be
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Honestly, I'm more excited about that than I am the actual pay-per-view.
I was typing out our article for picks, and I just put them all in as the same because I feel like nothing is just going to be straight
Right.
chalk, probably.
Sure.
But we'll see.
I would agree.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to pull a fucking world title. I mean, I know for sure Roman's not losing.
We know
Nobody's
that.
losing.
So,
No, it's going to be Lashley versus Lesnar and Roman versus Cena. So that's set at SummerSlam.
Already said,
So,
And we'll get into Cena and Roman here in a minute, too.
boy.
But
Let's do it.
The biggest news was Tuesday night, which is odd.
I know. NXT. Actually, you know what? I watched some of NXT.
This was the best episode of NXT they've
Mhm.
probably ever had.
Yeah.
I've never been a big Samoa Joe fan on the main roster, but even in TNA, I wasn't a big fan of his either. But dude, he is so good on NXT. He is NXT.
He fits NXT a lot better. So he was named. They didn't really give him a title yet, but he's basically the enforcer. To Regal, because Regal tried to resign and make him the GM, and he told him no.
He said no. Poor
He said,
Regal. He
he
tried.
said, "You're not going anywhere, Regal. But I'll help you clean shit up around here." Not in those exact words, just basically what he's doing. So
He's the enforcer.
He's allowed to kick people's ass if he's provoked.
Only if provoked.
Always
So,
provoked.
as Chuck alluded to earlier, Adam Cole provoked him and got
Yep.
put to sleep.
Choked out.
And
what
then
happens.
Pete,
Mhm.
he had I like the stare downs he had throughout the show. He stared down with Cross at the beginning. He stared down with Pete Dunne in the middle.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
He Johnny Gargano's trying to kiss his ass, and he wasn't having any of it toward the end. So they're teasing shit with Joe Ballard. Posted some stuff on Twitter about Joe. It's a huge get back for NXT Samoa.
Mhm.
All the outrage that we had, and the internet's always outraged, but they were
Yeah.
really outraged when Joe got released.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's
well,
nice to see him back
It
in
is.
NXT. I feel like he fits it better.
Oh yeah.
And luckily, I don't know, NXT had the ratings are slowly creeping. I guess Triple H's whole, it's not a race, it's not a marathon, whatever it's a sprint, not a race or whatever. It's actually working.
I mean,
So-
yeah,
It
because Triple
is,
H
yeah.
knows what he's doing.
He
Like,
does.
dude, the
Mhm.
entire wrestling industry back when it was the most popular, it wasn't about getting those ratings, making the best story, make people want to
The
watch.
stories are
what happens
so
next.
good, which we'll
Right.
get to when we talk about
Yeah.
NXT, but the stories there, everything. I was listening to Busted Open, shocker, but they were talking about
Shocker.
storytelling and they were comparing Raw to NXT. It's like, which stories on Raw do you care about right now? Well, you care about RK Bro.
Mhm.
You sort of care about Alexa, but now we're kind of
Sorta.
getting confused.
It's getting over. I'm over it, honestly.
Me too.
And then
Yeah.
the 6-man tag was excellent, I thought. Other than that 6-man, even though I hate the commercial breaks, I told her, I was like, oh, we're
That
going to come back
happens.
to. I hate how they get there. But it was a great match. It's nice
It
seeing the
was a good-
Viking Raiders. They do
Yeah,
some
they do
crazy
some-
shit in the ring, too.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude, the Viking Raiders are actually surprisingly good for their build. And
Yeah, they're huge.
their first time around, I never really got into them, but they stepped it up, I think,
They
since
do.
they've come back.
Mhm.
I hope they don't get thrown onto Hell in a Cell, because AJ and Omos ain't losing those
No, they're
belts.
not.
It's
Nah, that's going to go SummerSlam against Rated RK Bro.
We'll start off with good stuff. Yvonne, what did you think of Samoa Joe? So I was doing that Arena Rock Show podcast, so I had my alerts turned off. And then ESPN sends me a fucking alert of all places telling me Samoa Joe's back, which I didn't even know ESPN gave a shit. So I knew he was coming back, but I didn't. I wanted to watch the show.
To
Sure.
see
Which
what's
is
gonna
funny. When I
happen.
watch Raw, now we started watching an hour later and skipping through shit.
We do. That's what
When I
we
watch
wanna do.
NXT, if I miss it, I start it from the beginning,
Raw and them
and I only DVR the commercials.
Yeah, that
Like,
works.
I watch it straight through. It's one of the only shows I can watch straight through.
I mean, clearly NXT is the best of the three
The
shows.
best show, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just not even.
I think
a
it's
debate.
the most put. Even though I don't watch AW, I get what people like about it, but I think
Yeah.
NXT is the most well built show.
It
It's got
is.
good
It is.
wrestling. It has wrestling matches where you can have 150 super kicks, and you can get that fan will be happy.
Yeah.
You get stories.
Stories that make sense.
Well, you think
You
people
get
behind
character
it.
development.
You have Triple H and William Regal, two
Yep.
probably
And
the
Shawn
greatest,
Michaels.
and
And Shawn
HBK,
Michaels, yep.
three of
Mhm.
the greatest wrestling minds.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. Vince has the promoter mind. Triple H and William Regal and Shawn Michaels have
Mhm.
the wrestler production
Absolutely.
mind. It makes the most sense that NXT is probably the best show of them. But at the same time, I think sometimes it gets too into the match, and that's where you lose me. But that's not a bad thing. That's just my preference. That's nothing to
Right.
do with anything. So, yeah, that's why that's the best
See,
show.
when I was watching, which we'll get into the takeover, when I was watching the Fatal Five Way with Cross and Dunn and Gargano, and they were just kicking and kneeing the
Mhm.
shit. I mean,
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
clean.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
For a minute, I was like, I kind of see Chuck's point. Like, they have super kicked a lot, but they were super kicking into other shit, though. Like,
They
they
were.
super kicked him into a German,
Right.
but she got German, and then Pete Dunne got double super kicked
He
on his
did.
way down from the German. He was
Sure.
super kicked. Like, it was hard to keep track. And then Cross just comes in and cleans house.
So
Sure.
much
So,
chaos.
I mean, it was a
yeah.
and that's good
Honestly,
for big
that's-
matches like that. That's great.
Mhm.
The problem is sometimes they do it too much on
I
Wednesdays
think that's
or
my
Tuesdays.
favorite match of the year so far.
It was good. I watched that match. It was
I think
great.
that was my favorite match of the year. So
That's the
far.
only match I watched from that show. I already knew
It
the
was a
outcome.
pretty good show.
But I liked
was
it.
a good
It wasn't as great as Undertaker.
Yeah.
The opener, the 6-man winner take all was very good.
Mhm.
Cameron Grimes and LA Knight took some bumps. Those
They
ladders,
did.
dude. Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. The bump at the end was so
I didn't see
dumb.
that one, but yeah.
He got pushed off and landed on the side of a
He
ladder.
did. He did.
Like clean.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's gotta be
Grimes
hurting.
comes in Wednesday or Tuesday. He's like, my back hurts a little bit. It's like, yeah, dude. I guess. Like,
It's going to.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be.
That's a ladder.
Yeah.
That's
very good, glad to see Joe. And
Yeah, so much.
I like how they sprinkled him in.
Hell yeah.
They led off the show with Joe. Then you got Joe and Regal appearing throughout. And you see Joe trying to fix the issues. And the show ends with Regal and Joe saying, hey, good first night on the job. They both get in their
See you
vehicles.
next week.
NXT goes
Yep.
over. And they got a stacked show for next week.
Don't
and
fuck
they
with Joe,
announced the
dude.
Great American Bash is coming back on July 6th.
And they already announced one match for that.
And
already,
O'Reilly
too. Adam
and Cole. And the rumor is it's going to be a loser leaves NXT match.
Oh boy.
Ooh, so
So
we got
we
Cole.
did-
We got Cole coming to the main roster
I
soon.
think
Yeah, I think so. That's
I don't think, no offense to Kyle O'Reilly,
Sure.
no,
but he
that's-
needs a little more time down NXT. It's not going to hurt him. Cole's been ready.
Cole's the name.
This is how you write Cole into SummerSlam.
absolutely.
Cole's the name there. Like, again, no offense to Riley or Fish or who's the other guy.
Oh, Strong. He's already
Strong.
quit.
He's
Yeah.
already quit.
So
Storyline quit.
Sure.
We haven't seen him for a
We
while, which is
haven't,
kind of
uh-uh.
weird.
So Cole's the guy, and then Cole I think could be like the next HBK, but he is just
That's what Booker T said on his podcast.
That's
He said he
true.
can't wait to see what Adam Cole does in the main roster. He thinks he's HBK and waiting. HBK's even alluded to it, which I think is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It is cool.
That is cool.
because he gets to work with HBK every week.
That is really cool.
That is-
The problem with that is we've said that a lot about wrestlers. So he could be the next HBK.
Also,
Dolph Ziggler. And back when he first debuted in 08, I was like, oh, he's fucking HBK. And I stand by that. He could have been.
Mhm. Could
But,
be.
that's always the thing to say with these guys who have that same building and do a lot of awesome stuff.
Mhm.
But I think Adam Cole has the advantage of the fact that he's working with HBK one-on-one every week for how many years now? And he's
Oh, wow.
and he's not an idiot like Dolph Ziggler where he just says dumb shit
Right.
on the internet.
Right.
So that's where Dolph Ziggler failed. He was getting pushed all down your throats right until he started getting mouthy, like real life mouthy. It's like, dude,
Mhm.
shut up. And now he's just going to be a jobber tag team champion for a while. And I said jobber tag team champion. You heard that correctly.
You sure did. I was excited, just like Chuck. I've never been a fan of Samoa Joe on the main roster.
I never cared about.
I like him better on NXT.
I didn't realize I cared about him until he got fired.
Yeah.
Then I was like, damn, that kind of sucks.
Who is
I get it, Joe.
Joe.
Oh, Joe. Yeah.
It
I
seems
agree.
like
It's
we
like
care
I'm
more
not
when
walking
they
around
lose
and
their
smelling
job.
Joe merch, but like
Right.
Sure. That's kind of.
I was like,
agree
how
with
did
that.
they fire him? He just was at main. It's like Strowman
Yeah.
caught me off guard. It's like he was just in your main event.
Just
And it was probably the best he's looked in a match. And I feel it's money.
Sure.
Right.
Like they paid him way
Sure.
too much back
Right.
then.
Sure.
Same with Joe. They're paying him to wrestle and he can't.
Mhm.
So I'm sure he came back to NXT at a different rate.
Mhm.
But
Dude, Strowman's still a shocker just because, and
Yeah.
it's kind of you said you didn't really think about it. Like they're on TV every week, so to see them fired or let go or whatever you want to call it, it's like damn.
it's like Aleister Black was weird.
You
was
just came
on
back.
SmackDown,
He was just
and
in a
they spent
segment.
3 weeks building him back up. Then he
Attack
kicked Big E in the face,
then
and
we
now
never
on
see him
SmackDown
again.
they're like,
What?
"Well, Big E lost the title." They don't
Right.
acknowledge
No,
how.
they don't.
It's just if somebody who doesn't doing a whole lot, they get let go. It makes sense, but the guys that you're seeing in the
Yeah.
main picture all the time, it's like
That's
whoa.
when the sell shit started. It's like, okay, this is very random.
Right. It's
But
like
speaking of those fired people, released people, same thing. NXT is considering bringing back more released superstars. So you all know the list by now. So Strowman, Black, Chelsea Green, Vanessa Bourne, Lana.
That's a lot
The
of
list goes on and on. Is there anybody you guys would like to see
Ruby
NXT
Riott was one too.
swoop up? Because they're about to get clean. I think NXT is about to get
Hmm.
cleaned out around SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to fill these spots.
sure.
So is there anybody you guys would like to see show up back? I mean,
do you
Alistair is
think?
the obvious one.
Obviously, I want Aleister back.
He was
Alistair, yeah.
NXT to begin with.
Sure. I want Aleister Black in any form.
Which women do you want to see show up down at NXT? Because they're going to lose. Io Shirai's probably going to go
She's
to the main
gonna be
roster
moving
soon.
up. Yep. Let's see who else would be moving up.
Chelsea Green's not going back. I'm sure she'll go to Impact.
She'll
or
go
wherever.
somewhere.
She's one I kind of liked, honestly.
I did
like,
too. Everybody knows I.
I think she got hurt again, unfortunately.
That's her problem. She gets hurt
Every time she
too
goes
much.
to
That's
get
her problem.
pushed,
That's
unfortunately, she has shitty luck with that.
Braun Strowman
And I
had the
thought
same
she could have
issue.
done great.
Yeah, man. Like it's just one of those things. Like
Mhm.
Let
it
me pull up the
sucks.
people.
It's like
And no, Lana don't count. I
no,
don't.
Lana sucks. She can be gone.
No.
She's been worthless. I really liked Lana when I liked Lana early on when Rusev was
Right,
Crush.
yeah. Crush Rusev.
Like I liked that. That was really good.
I like how they put Daniel Bryan on the released
Oh,
list.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
he wasn't released.
Hashtag kayfabe.
So Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black,
Murphy. I like Buddy Murphy a lot.
Murphy. I don't know if he was in NXT originally. Yeah, he was.
Was
it was
he?
Murphy and Blake with
Briefly,
Alexa.
yeah. I think I really liked him a lot. I think he could be like the next Daniel Bryan.
You know what? Bo Dallas would be. He was
Yeah.
great down in NXT.
I don't like Bill
He was
Dallas.
the champ. Him and Seth had
Yeah.
a great feud down there.
He was, but
I'd say
His face bothers
fucking
me.
Velveteen.
his face. bothers-
It was like cicada.
Velveteen was such a fucking waste of time.
He's,
Like he
he's
could have been.
disgusting.
He got put over by John Cena,
Yeah, he's
The
a piece of
Rock.
shit.
Like and it's sad.
It is.
He's just disgusting.
Dude, speaking of that, this is kind of off topic, but to the same thing. It sucks when like really talented people who could be amazing that you really like do stupid shit. Like I used to really like the Lost Prophets in high school. And I just rediscovered their music. Oh, this is the shit. And then I went to like download it on Spotify to put out of my running list. It wasn't on there. So I Googled why. It turns out the lead singer did stupid, crazy shit, but like way worse and provable. So he's in prison forever. That stuff. So now because of that, I can't like this music that I liked 20 years ago, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
So like, why do people gotta be crazy?
Yeah,
Why do
sure.
artists that have talent have to ruin it? Stop doing that.
Well, it's like being a football fan. It's like
Like,
you get players that's like, man, he would have been a Hall of Famer if he like Josh Gordon, which people are going like, who? He's a wide receiver for the Browns. For the Browns. Now
Sure.
the Browns are good.
I understand, but
But,
still,
like,
NFL
When
players
the Browns
good.
sucked.
Right.
He could have been one of the best receivers
Sure.
today still. He couldn't stop smoking weed. It's like, bro,
Gosh.
quit smoking
Dude,
weed.
didn't they just
Quit
start watching
smoking
that
weed.
Aaron Hernandez documentary on Hulu or whatever? Like that
that's
dude,
some-
he had
that's some
all of the talent.
dude,
blew-
that's some shit.
it is.
That is.
Dude, that's a crazy
It's like,
thing.
Matt,
why?
I obviously
I did
watched
too.
that
I
right
did
because he
too.
was from New England. But
Sure.
yeah, it's like he just signed a 5-year, $60 million deal.
What are you
like
doing?
New England could have granted they
Mhm.
kept winning, but he could have been one of the
He could have been the guy going forward.
Yeah.
Millions and millions
I
of
still
dollars.
find it weird. Somebody hung out with Tebow so much could have a brain that fucked up. Like I'm serious. Like
Yeah, that's true.
you're typically your surroundings is
Oh,
really impacts your behavior.
it
right?
does.
And he's
Mhm. It
surrounded
does.
by Tebow.
But his family was fucked up. You can blame that to a point, but you had the opportunity to make millions and be awesome, and you choose to do this, and you ruin it for not just you, but your fans. And that's why I'm at the Lost Profits. That's why Velveteen Dream sucks. He had a lot of fans. I'm not one of them, but he had a lot of fans, and it sucks that he did that to his fans. Like, he didn't just ruin his life; he ruined his fans' lives.
People that looked up to him.
You're right. It breaks the wall, and it's just like, stop.
John Cena put him like
That's insane.
He had star power.
Sure, he was talented.
He definitely had star power.
He did.
I mean, he was talented. You can't. He would have been where he was if he wasn't talented. It's just the way it is in this business.
Push me Vince on his tights where he got a little bit of he got heat for it, but
I thought that was funny.
It got over.
I enjoyed that.
It got over.
Funny. Yeah.
It did.
So it's like, hey.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, stop. So if you're a celebrity watching our show, as we know you guys do, we've had some people comment who are celebrities. So, what was his name again?
Velveteen Dream.
No, the guy who commented on our show. I always forget.
Was it Mace?
Mace, yeah.
Mace.
We have Mace comment and stuff. So, like, if you're a celebrity, you're on your way to be a celebrity, stop. Just stop being crazy and do your talent. Shut the fuck up. Don't do weird stuff on the internet and just do your talent and be awesome. And in 10 years from now, you'll be amazing and everybody will love you. Don't give in to those weird urges that some of you may have.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Don't kill people. Don't do weird stuff. Be cool. You'll make it.
So we're going to stay with positivity.
I like it. That's where I'm at. I'm in a positive mood today. I'm happy. We're not in the garage sweating. So,
Josh ain't chasing wasps or fighting wasps.
I had a bad day at work, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna bring that negative energy home. So I'm in a happy mood.
Well, SummerSlam, Stephanie said, is expected to have a lot of surprises. It was prompted by a fan asking her, "Are you going to wrestle?" And she said, "Last time I wrestled, Ronda broke my arm, so I'm definitely not doing that again." But she said expect a lot of surprises at SummerSlam this year, which they said they're building it. Reports are as they want it to be bigger than WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could tell that. Just from booking it in Las Vegas on a Saturday night, you can tell they're going a different route. Yeah, it's going. Yeah,
I saw
absolutely.
the report where WWE's ticket sales were struggling, then SummerSlam sold out in almost 3 days.
Yeah,
so,
and that makes sense.
Meltzer, suck it, dude. Just stop it.
He's a joke. I mean, Meltzer still wears torn up jeans and he's like 70 years old. I saw a picture of Vince today. He's like almost 76.
Yeah, did you see Sean Rapp's interview with Lashley? And Lashley was like, "Yeah, Vince will try to fight sometimes." He's like, "I don't really know how to react to it." He was like, "Does anybody try to scrap with you?" He's like, "Yeah, Vince."
So did you hear the Kurt Angle interview when he was not Kurt Angle? I'm sorry, Jericho's interview on Stone Cold's podcast? How he kept baiting Kurt Angle on the plane.
Yeah, like,
he did.
You psychopath.
You see Vince is like this great. I mean, I personally don't, but the overall thing of Vince is like he's a dickhead that just says, "Fire, do this, I do what I want." Right. But like, I'm sure he's a thrill to be around at times where he's like fucking around with like, "Hey Lashley, powerbomb me." He's like, "What?"
What?
Like when he did the bump for Gronk, and man, he's like, "Come on, man, don't do it." He's like, "Don't be a puss, watch." Right. And Gronk's like, the 78-year-old man just jumps off the balcony, like
he showed you.
He trusted
you. Right. Yeah, smarter Gronk for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Gronk's an idiot.
And gimmick shows are expected. Fox and USA has apparently both been pitching a shit ton of ideas to WWE. Cyber Sundays.
I saw that.
King of the Ring.
Wow.
A lot of those older
like old school Raw. Yeah.
Oh, with Twitter and shit, you could honestly do Cyber Sunday. Like,
sure.
So
Too real this time.
Yeah, like
not have hardcore Street Fighter no DQ, which is the exact same match.
Actual Cyber Sunday.
Yeah, just you could easily book that. Raw Roulette, where they were in Vegas.
I remember that was cool. That was a good one.
They want to do some more theme shows.
That's awesome.
I'm up for that.
No, they're popular.
So
Why not?
I said last week I was going to make a list of shit
that
we're waiting for. I came up with 11 things. So Brock, Cena, Rock, title changes, good storylines, pushes, the draft, new storylines, new stage, Sasha and Ronda. And that's just
new stage. I dig.
Yeah, they're going to, but COVID.
It's time for a new stage.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'm excited for the
that's
fans
a lot
to
of shit.
That's a lot.
Title changes is the big one because I don't think we're going to see
We've
any.
seen the same champions.
The one thing they need to really do, and I was seeing with this. See, the other day somebody on the internet asked, what? Honestly, not the same. Don't say the same words everybody else says, but what? Honestly, if you could influence it, what would make WWE more watchable for everybody? What would you really want to see? And, in my opinion, is I want to not have to care about the part-time guys. I don't want to have to wait for The Rock or John Cena or Brock Lesnar. I want next week to matter, and I want to watch that whole show. And one way you do that is you make every title matter. We have a lot of titles. We have tag team titles. We have IC titles. We have US titles. Make those feuds just as important and intense as the main event titles. You have Kevin Owens. He should be a main eventer in my opinion, but he's not right now. That's fine. Okay, so make the IC title or US title, make that passion go towards that belt. So you say, Kevin Owens, I want that belt. I'm going to get it this way. Let him do his thing. You make the opponent, whoever it may be, Apollo Crews or whoever, say, no, this is my belt and this is why. And you make that passion. And if every feud has that kind of passion, we're set. But you have to allow it, and you have to trust your people. Trust is, I think, one thing Vince doesn't have, which I understand.
Right.
It's his baby. He's the one on the line here. Kevin Owens is on the line. Vince is on the line. I understand that, but at the end of the day, trust is what made WWE what it is today, and you can't lose that. And I think he kind of lost it in a lot of ways with how overproduced and overwritten everything is. You let your talent be your talent. And I think if we would just let that happen, still under control, you can't let the inmates run the asylum. But if you allow them to make their passion, whatever story they're in, that's it. We have all the talent. WWE has all of the talent right now.
And they got the weapon.
Sure.
It's called NXT.
I mean,
because you want to talk about titles mattering. I think we talked about this last week, like the Cruiserweight title main event. You know what the main event of NXT this week was? Thatcher and Ciampa versus Grizzled Young Veterans in a tornado tag.
Yep.
Oh,
why?
Yeah.
No titles.
There's no titles.
Why? Because they've been
It's
building
just
that story for 2 months, and the match was great, and it matters.
Sure.
People are
It
invested.
matters.
On Raw, what's the most relevant title on the main roster?
It would have
Romans?
to be the WWE. Well, on the main roster on Raw would be the WWE title, which is last
period.
week.
So,
I would
Romans?
say Romans. Yeah.
Romans.
After that, what matters?
Nothing. I mean, you have two distinct shows, so it'd be the Lashley's belt because they're kind of booking him really strong, but still weird with prostitutes or whatever. And then you have Roman Reigns' belt, which is very weird family.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of over, but I think we're getting to the point to where we're moving on from that.
We're getting
I dig
somewhere.
it. I dig it.
getting somewhere.
And they mentioned The Rock today on WWE, so I'm like, all right, now we're gonna.
Well, it'll segue perfect into the next thing we're going to get into, but it's like NXT. They just introduced $1 million belt, so most people are like, if Raw gave it, let's say they just brought back the hardcore title, people are going to be like, oh, what the fuck? They can't even use the belts they have correctly.
No.
NXT they introduced women's tag championships. They're already more relevant than the ones on the main roster.
Absolutely.
Again, Triple H,
The
man.
$1 million title's already over. Like, granted, it's a legendary title, but it already.
I mean, but that's the thing, though. So talk about that. Triple H is basically. I keep saying it was Triple H. No, it's not Triple H. It's Vince McMahon from 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, like,
Triple H is just rehashing Vince's old shit.
Yeah,
but Vince doesn't understand that.
Vince is this new. They're making so much fucking money.
They
like,
are.
how can you tell him he's wrong? Like, how can Triple H be like, dude, you're fucking up? And he's like, hey, check this out. I have $7 billion in my bank account now.
That's fair, but
I disagree with it. I don't think it's the way to go. But at the end of the day, that's what he's going to be like. Fuck it.
And I understand
when I
that.
start losing profits.
I understand that, but I look at it, and I would tell Vince this, if him and I were doing this. But I look at it.
Vince doesn't do many interviews anymore.
With my like no background in business whatsoever.
Mine either.
My fucking negative balance on my everything. But I would say as of right now, because you're not wrong. Making a ton. He just made $1 billion on the WWE network, which was just a thing in 2012. Like, that's, if you think about that, he created a thing in 2012 and just made $1 billion off of that thing. That's crazy. But am I wrong or am I right? Is that right?
No,
$1 billion? All right,
No,
so make sure
right.
that sounds like a lot.
$2 billion. He got $2 billion contracts a year and a half between each other.
That's not. And I remember when he became a billionaire from a millionaire. I was in junior high or high school. It's like, oh shit, that's crazy. And I just made $1 billion last year on one thing he created in 2012. You can't argue business with Vince McMahon, but I would consider it a bubble because right now he's making all this money off of it, but eventually it's going to end if he keeps losing. And then you have the kids. I honestly don't know how their ratings are doing, but they're not nearly as good as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that it's as popular as it could be. So if you're making this much money now when it's probably at its lowest popularity ever when it comes to the general population, why wouldn't you want to improve it to make it everybody wants to watch it, not just this generation and a lot of other people make fun of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like
there's a report that he knows the current product is stale and everything just keeps alluding to wait until the fucking live fans come back.
Well,
so,
you know,
we'll have to see. Somebody just typed a fucking story.
Bennett did.
Michael Bennett.
Of course, Bennett did.
I would pull it up, but I feel like it'd chop all of
I
our
think he
heads
just
off.
what
cracked
she
our
said.
comments with all
right.
Let's read it.
I
Oh,
agree
boy.
with the trust issues and overproduce, especially promos. That I agree with. Mania was a great example of just let them shoot. You can tell those guys who are doing this on the shoot. Yep, you can. You can obviously tell. Strowman was terrible for that. Ripley's pretty rough too, but she makes up for it in the ring. But those who organically get the crowd hype all seem to be the most successful, and then they end up doing small stuff out of WWE. Then eventually in Hollywood, The Rock, Cena, I think he overproduces out of fear. And he's right, because he said, I forget who, I read somewhere where they said Vince will never make another person bigger. WWE, the brand,
That's a mistake.
they're
in
never
my
going to
opinion.
make something bigger than the brand.
And that's a mistake.
So it's what, Andre, Hogan,
Rock, Austin,
Cena.
That's it. Maybe Lesnar, but I don't think
No,
so.
Lesnar was never that.
I
mean,
agree.
as great as Jericho is, Jericho's not even that guy in AEW.
I want
no
even,
disrespect. He's on my Mount Rushmore.
I honestly want to even put Andre the Giant on there.
True.
Honestly,
Not
I
AEW,
want it.
that's
It's
true.
the big four is Hogan.
No, Flair.
Nope, I wouldn't put Flair on that either.
No, I was about to say Flair. You would. It's the face of a company.
Hogan, Austin, Rock, Cena. Those are the four that got bigger than the actual. Because Ric Flair, as popular as he is, he's still only popular in the industry. The four I just mentioned are not. They're bigger than all of that. And I think, and if you look at that generation, Hogan, 80s, Austin, Rock, 90s, Cena now, like you want that one person to. That's how you get people to watch.
Look at the star power, which we'll segue right into this. Fucks the banner. Speaking of star power, Roman Reigns today and John Cena.
Oh boy.
SummerSlam, WrestleMania.
I got a quote. Got a quote for you.
Got a quote.
Actually, Survivor Series, but
I did see that. Well, that will be the match. That'll be an encounter.
That'll be.
Yeah, that'll be the encounter.
So the quote Roman said was, "This is on the Load Management podcast." Interesting name. Anyway,
how do we get Cena on my podcast? Or how do we get Roman Reigns on my podcast?
He said, "I think I'm the guy. If there's anybody that would feel comfortable with me in the ring and have the proper build-up and can rise to that occasion, there's no doubt I'm that guy. We'll definitely have a lot of eggs to crack to get to that." And then when asked about John Cena and The Rock specifically, he said, "That's a dream for a lot of our fans." He said, "It ain't a dream for The Rock's fans. I get this a lot with Dwayne and John Cena as well. These guys are doing very well for themselves. There's no question about it. If I were those guys, I don't know if I'd want to come back and deal with me. I'm a problem for everybody right now. So if I were them, I would stay on set. I keep pumping out those streaming service movies. Those streaming service movies.
Cena has a Hulu movie.
Don't come to my ring. I like how he takes a jab like
he does.
Streaming service movies.
My favorite part though is that Roman Reigns was in the Rock's movie Hobbs and
didn't even talk.
But
I still gotta see that.
It's not that good. You don't waste your time.
And Bennett,
I mean, I like Jason Statham.
Bennett followed up with The Miz is arguably the closest thing to starring out of WWE. Also, arguably the best in promos.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like we talked last week how he made going down the ramp on a wheelchair entertaining.
I want to address what he just said though. That The Miz is absolutely, in my opinion, the most talented actor in the WWE. Anything he does is amazing.
He's awesome.
That being said, he is awesome.
He is awesome.
That being said, though, nobody still knows his name. His movies were still direct to DVD, and they're mostly the Marines, like 3, 4, 5, 6, and a billion.
Well, I think he's getting more famous for like
and then his TV show,
his reality show.
Sure.
But
that's still
what I read does pretty damn well.
It does.
So.
That's still USA viewers, but like I look at this.
But he had did he have a following from MTV back in the day?
He did. With Real World, yes,
he did.
On the Real World. He did.
He was. Kind of got him into WWE.
You're right. You're absolutely. That's a very good point. But when I look at people who are bigger than WWE, this is silly, but I think it's a good indicator. Is I ask my mom because my mom works in retail, and my mom does not watch. She hates wrestling. She hates the fact that I like it, and I even told her I'll grow out of it when I was 12, and I never did. But like, But that being said, though, I asked my mom, "Hey, do you know who this is?" And she'll say yes or no. And she knows the four that we just mentioned. I doubt she would know the Miz. So I honestly I ask her because she again works in retail, so she knows what people are buying, and then she watches TV. So if she knows who that person is, I'm like, okay, that guy's getting there. If he's got work to do. My mom's my indicator on who's
right. Yeah, that's what
good indicator.
that is. Yeah.
But this is probably going to lead to. Well, Cena interviewed earlier this week, and he said the jorts are coming out soon. I got to get him ready for summer. So
he'll be at SummerSlam. It's going to be him for.
He was going to be at Mania, but he couldn't.
He was like in Peru or some shit.
He's been doing a shit ton of movies.
He's been doing a lot of shit.
Fast and Furious, the new Suicide Squad. He's got some other projects.
Hey, it's not Fast and Furious. It's Furious 9. All right,
it's fucking stupid.
I don't even know what it's called.
So bad we don't know what it's called.
All right, to get to the other news, Survivor Series has been. That's like the 20-year anniversary of The Rock or something.
He debuted at Survivor Series. I think 90.
It's like 25 years, something like that, anniversary. So they figured that'd be a good pinpoint
to bring
the Rock
series.
So Rock comes back, Reigns punches him in the fucking face, and then that sets up Mania for this year.
Yep. If you remember,
and for the people who say Hollywood, they cannot drag this out for another year.
No,
it's time
it
to
needs to be sorry COVID happened.
Here
but
we are.
It did.
Yep.
Hollywood would have made sense if COVID hadn't happened because Hollywood would be this year.
Sure.
Because last year they had to do it at the PC.
Sure.
But Dallas,
here we are.
Texas is just as good. It'll be fine.
It will be.
It'll be absolutely fine.
What if it's Stone Cold? That would make sense.
Cool.
It's got to be
Rock, Reigns. I don't even put Stone Cold as the ref. I still want to see Stone Cold fight Kevin Owens.
So do I. I do too.
Dude, I want to see Stone Cold.
You got to do something with Texas. They're running out of Texas, like JBL, Booker T. Stone Cold's left because Mark Henry went to AEW.
I want to see
the Texas guy.
I still want to see Stone Cold versus CM Punk, but
so do I do too.
Money talks, and Vince has a lot of it.
He does.
But yeah, man. So like, if you remember with The Rock, remember when Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, whatever year that was, and The Rock really put him over after the fact because Reigns was still.
He came out and raised his hand.
Yeah. And then they walked backstage, and Rock was around his mouth, bringing Reigns like a bad guy. They were using The Rock to put Reigns over. Yeah. So I like the dynamic that they're taking. Like The Rock and Reigns could be the biggest match since Cena and Rock.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like,
so what if they do like Bloodline, like Roman picks dudes, Rock picks dudes. Like it'd be like the Usos versus The Rock gets behind the Prophets.
That could happen.
And like that's how they. I feel like the storyline we're getting with Roman, where they're like the family. With
sure.
Rock, insert Rock.
Well, Rock's the family.
Like,
he's family. Yeah,
where are the Usos' loyalties going to lie then? It's like,
I think that's the story,
and that's going to be a great story.
And Reigns is going to be like,
we have to put
behind me because I'm the tribal
chief.
Like,
I'm here now.
And Rock is like, I'm the fucking Rock. Like, look at my tattoos.
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for him to be like, yeah, that's why they replaced you in Fast Furious with John Cena.
Ooh.
And that really plays into when John Cena was, I had to come back because I had to take your spot.
No. Roman's going to say, I just kicked the dude's ass that took your spot in the Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
So what makes you think I'm not going? And he beat you at WrestleMania and took the belt from you the last time you fought.
Yeah. That's thing.
Crazy. That story is.
Dude, it is.
Hollywood written perfection. Roman comes out on top.
And I was being really hypocritical when I was shit talking the Roman Reigns storyline because I always say I want bigger stories, but I'm here bitching. Well, it's fucking the same thing every week. No, I mean,
there's a purpose behind it,
and so like, and it is now getting good. And with when The Rock is actually in, and since COVID is ending, hopefully,
it's crazy.
It's getting there.
Everybody's like John Cena's. Never thought there'd be excitement for it. Back in the day, everybody's like, not me, I love John Cena, but everybody's like, get the fuck out of here. We're sick of you burying talent.
We want Reigns to beat Cena, is what we're waiting to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Cena did a great job putting over the Fiend at WrestleMania and whatever the fuck that was. I'm ready for the live fans. Money in the Bank's gonna be a lot of fun.
That'd be fun. I love that pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's always one of the good ones.
So SmackDown. So staying with Roman.
Speaking of the tribal chief, Roman.
He's not my tribal chief. Yeah, I don't acknowledge him yet.
Rey Mysterio acknowledged him.
He killed his son.
So, what the fuck? Like, he just launched him out of the ring.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some kind of padding or something, but maybe there wasn't. Like,
even a padding
that's a bump.
That's a bump.
Dominic,
I had to hurt.
So Dominic got tied in the ropes and got his ass whipped by Seth Rollins with the kendos. He's paying his dues. He got his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar. He just got
Sorry about
power
that,
bombed
yeah.
out of the ring.
Dude, he got thrown
He's
out
paying
of
his
the ring.
dues.
Like,
He
I mean,
Dominic deserves to be a
he got-
tag team champion.
he got last righted out of the ring. He got launched.
He got landed on his back and smacked real
Yeah,
hard.
the
Man,
knee,
that
yeah.
hurt.
So Ray challenges now Roman, which we'll get into the picks. Which
Yeah,
this one's
that's
obvious.
a
That's
boring one,
pretty
yeah.
obvious.
I mean,
He's one
Ray
of
hasn't
This is
been relevant in years.
Yeah, it's filler. They haven't fought. That'd be kind of cool. I'm sure they'll do some interesting shit.
Sure.
Inside the ring.
They'll make it believable that maybe
It'll be a
Ray
good
will
match,
win
but
and
no.
Dominic will come out with a kendo stick. Yeah, it'll be believable.
Dominic will still come out and get involved in it.
I think
He
the
really will.
Usos.
Well, probably the back brace. Jesus.
I think you're gonna get.
Gosh,
I think
I know.
the ending will be. I think Jimmy will somehow help the Uso that hasn't been. I think he'll eventually. As you saw at the end of the show,
Yeah,
when
Jimmy's getting
when
on
he
his
started
side.
talking to him,
Mm.
you can see Jimmy's kind of like, "All right, dude, I
I
see
get
why."
it. I get it.
You're
Yeah,
kind of
so
making
get it.
sense.
we'll get there.
I get it.
Oh,
We
shit.
used to move furniture together. I understand.
All right, so we'll start with Yvonne. So we pretty much know, I guess, would be the plan for SummerSlam. It seems that way. What about the Usos? I'm gonna start. They're gonna start calling them the Bloodline soon, so I'm just
The
gonna get used to it.
bloodline.
They haven't even called him that yet, have they?
No.
We keep
That's because they
That's
only
what we
have
can do.
like 2/3 of it. So what would you like to see them do going into SummerSlam with
Going-
the Usos?
I would like to
Because it
see.
looks like the Profits are going.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're with the Profits anymore.
I originally would like to see the Usos go after the tag belts, but obviously that ain't gonna happen. So obviously they're probably going to be doing something with Roman. Obviously Jimmy's going to join, and then SummerSlam. I don't even know what would happen at SummerSlam with them. I would like maybe the Usos maybe get another tag team title shot, maybe again, like him and Jay are together again, and maybe that ends up being another title
I'm
match.
sure that would be the
And
end game.
Roman's
They'll all
actually
have the
behind
gold.
this. He won't get involved. He approves it.
Well, he helps them win. or
He helps
something.
him win. Yep, helps him.
That's what I think too.
That's all I think for that one.
Yeah, I could see the same thing. I don't think Jimmy is really going to have a battle with Roman like we were
No.
talking about.
I
in
have
the
a
past.
feeling they both get put in Money in the Bank,
They probably will.
Jimmy and
Jay.
Jay.
or at least one of them.
I think both would be good.
Because on SmackDown, you'd have for them. So it's like normally 8, right? So you'd have 4 from each show. So you had
Mhm.
KO, Cesaro, one of the Usos, and then I mean, there's a variety of people you can choose after that. You ain't gonna put Otis in it again after that train wreck last year.
That was awful.
Dude, I'm so over.
The Usos in, but there's other people you could sprinkle in there. The Raw side's even worse. The women's Money in the Bank actually should be pretty decent.
It
This is
will
a
be
good
good.
chance for them, like a Liv Morgan or somebody like
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
to win. Get like a new somebody really new.
Sure.
But
Look what happened to Carmella Money in the Bank. She's won
yeah,
it.
we watched
they
her.
put
We
over.
watched her in the second one
Mhm.
because they made her do a Money in the Bank on Raw.
She won it.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter. It's this group called Images You Might Have Forgotten, and it's a wrestling based one. They used to book some shit on Raw, like great matches.
Mm.
I know.
Oh, I
WWE
figured.
Championship,
remember.
Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar in a ladder match, like just a crazy.
Dude, they used to have, like-
Velocity
yeah.
had a Brawl and Panties Women's
I remember
Champion
that.
on
I remember.
Velocity.
I remember.
That show that came on at like 10 at night on a Saturday.
Dude, the Triple H and Chris Jericho for the title, and Jericho won halfway through the show, and
That's
then
what
got it
I
back. Like
missed.
they used, and that's what they. And you know, you kind of brought it up already with the Usos being in it, but they have other people
Mhm.
they could do. Fuck that. I think that people we need to start making these shows or revolve around certain people and certain storylines. We have too many people now, and because of that, we're not getting anything solid. And SmackDown is kind of taking that turn. We're getting something solid. You know, maybe they do have other people. Fuck those people. Put Jay and Jimmy in there because this storyline is fun to watch, and I want to see how it goes. So maybe there is another person who could be there, but are you there for TV time? Are you there to do something relevant? We want to see relevant stuff. So I say put Jimmy and Jay both in there.
I do too.
I do too.
Start doing these shows that, instead of having 27 bodies on this show, we have 13 bodies on this show. But what we see is relevant and impactful.
That's kind of what they're doing with these releases.
Mhm.
They're cutting
Yeah.
out all the shit. Maybe that's what they get back to. 'Cause they call up these NXT guys. Like right now, fucking Priest. They're just like, where's he been? They're like, Vince
Yep.
is holding off for. It's like, God damn, these live fans. Like,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
Priest is getting over,
He's
and they
not-
want the Fiend, which we'll talk about in Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
But like, they want that, whatever makes the heart grow
Mhm.
fonder. What the fuck
Sure.
that old saying is. But
Sure.
like, they're gonna have I feel like when the live fans start back, it's just going to be like pop, pop,
Dude,
pop.
I
pop,
hope
pop,
so.
pop,
I
pop,
hope
pop,
I hope we get
this
back
guy
to
debuts.
traditional.
This guy comes
I hope
back.
we get
The
huge.
draft we bitch about. It's like, thank God, like all the shit we used. A lot of it's just going to be. Fuck. We know what life's like without it.
Yeah.
I missed it.
No,
Thank God it's
I
back.
missed the fact. I'm at this point. We're a year and a half in. I miss the old school stuff.
Like the shit I used to bitch about. Like, give me a Legends night with the fans.
Like, just
fuck
give me
it. Like,
give me some fans, man.
Now we
Like,
want the fans.
I really
back.
hope this India version of COVID doesn't really take over like they're claiming it will. But like Michael Bennett said, you've seen Michael Bennett. He's been on the show.
Yep, he's down. Yeah.
Adam Cole will be.
That's a tight time frame,
Money in the
though,
Bank.
I don't know.
because
It's kinda rough.
the Bash is the 6th. Money in the Bank's the 18th.
I don't know.
So, I mean, that's a tight window to, unless they do a surprise entrant or something.
And somebody
Which they could.
Somebody gets
But
attacked.
normally
or
they
something.
qualify for it, right?
Oh, how many times has Randy Orton attacked somebody to to take their
That's a
place?
fair point.
I hope Brock interferes again.
Dude, you
and
know
then cashes
that
in
pissed
at
me off
Summer-
so much.
I remember.
And it was
We
so
watched that.
It's funny.
looking back, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I could see Adam Cole.
Poor Ali.
I know.
Yeah.
He goes from being this close to winning the title
To what the fuck
To
is
nothing.
it?
to retribution.
to nothing. to now nothing.
Oh man,
Hey, he's about to that Mansoor thing might lead into something.
that's one thing too. I think I mentioned before, but I really hope they do a Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar with a Paul Heyman in the middle.
Yeah.
That writes itself, and I not now, but like a year from now.
Paul
I keep
Heyman
them
will
separate.
be-
I see.
yeah.
I have Paul bounce on both shows,
Sure.
and then the inevitable time where they cross.
Sure.
There's your
Absolutely.
next match.
Absolutely.
This is SummerSlam 2020.
I agree. Absolutely.
Then you got Roman booked for Cena, Rock, and fucking Brock.
And like Paul Heyman would be on your, Reigns side for Cena, Reigns side on Rock, no questions asked. And then Lesnar shows up. Fuck.
He's standing in the-
I
He's
still,
literally outside the ring in the middle. Like I don't know.
I still think
I don't know.
I still think the money way to book that is Brock Roman with Paul the ref.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could
Choose
be
your
good.
side.
Paul has to.
Maybe
choose.
not the ref, but like the enforcer.
Ref.
You think ref?
Enforcer. Samoa Joe's an enforcer. It's like
Sure.
like he's going.
Sure.
I make him pick.
I just can't
And
see.
then
I can't see Paul Heyman in stripes.
The build
Yeah.
is like them just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, Paul? We're gonna see who your loyalties lie, and that'll legitimately like.
Yeah.
Because I can see Brock going over. It's not like him and Roman ain't fought 9 times already.
He'd be a good guy here.
like.
And imagine the promos.
This is the way you turn Roman. You know, the ultimate goal is to organically make him a babyface.
Yeah.
So you
Sure.
have Paul aligned with Brock, and then Roman's fucking
Yeah.
straight fire babyface. Then
That-
Roman starts chasing. That's how Roman loses the belt, and he has a fucking 2-year run
Sure.
with it.
I wouldn't
Yes.
want because we saw Paul Heyman turn on Lesnar once with the Big Show back in like 04 or whatever. I wouldn't want to see that. I want Heyman to be, I like both genuinely. I don't know what to do. That's
Call it down the middle.
That's not down the middle, but maybe even because just to see I think Paul Heyman could really show controversy in, he loves both guys. He tries their coattails.
Yeah,
He
was
believes them
even
both.
Really, he's always really respectful of Roman.
Even in the first
past,
feud.
yeah.
Right.
He went out of his way.
That could be that writes itself. That
Mhm.
feud does.
See, Roman's he's in so many good stories. The Cena one writes itself because
Absolutely. Yep.
I'm just waiting for Roman to be like, listen, remember when I was the guy that couldn't do your job? He's like, now we don't even need you. I am the
Yeah,
guy.
that's true.
So, like,
I'm doing your job.
Roman's
better than
literally
you.
booked for probably, you could book him for the next year.
Yeah, he's like, you go back to Fast and the Furious 11. I'm going to be here, being the tribal chief.
Oh boy.
Bennett says could have everything set up through SummerSlam. Brock comes back and wins the Raw title. Eventually do the champ versus champ match. Roman cheats with help from Paul to win. Rock confronts him.
No,
Roman
because
drops Rock and sets up Mania. I don't
Nope.
want Brock intervene. I don't want
Brock's-
Brock in the middle.
that's too
No,
soon for
I
Brock.
don't- no.
Brock has to be after Cena and Rock. Brock
Yeah.
is next year.
Brock needs to beat at least fight. If he's going to beat Lashley.
Face
I
Lashley.
he'll beat
beat
Lashley.
and then the inevitable match with Drew again, right?
Sure.
Yep.
With fans. They've already mentioned that Drew wants the
I
champion.
feel like it'll be Drew and Brock again at Mania this year.
Yeah.
with
He's
fans.
got to build Drew up. I still think Drew's a dark horse if he's Money in the Bank to win it and cash it and
Oh,
come out the
Lord,
next
I
time
don't
and be
even
like, I'm
think of
cashing
that.
this in at WrestleMania, and whoever the hell's champion, I'll deal with him there. And that's be the first time that's been done with the briefcase. And we still have the women's to cash in, but I sincerely hope Cesaro wins that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when Brock does come back for something, do you think we're going to see Paul Heyman do both?
Yeah.
Brock, not act like he's on either side.
Yeah.
Like you'll see Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, then Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns,
Yeah,
and he won't mention
be
either.
related. Yeah.
Right.
It won't be.
I dig that. I like that a lot. I really do. And then a year from now, that will really do well when they do eventually cross.
Or like a pay-per-view when they're on the same building. It's like, because now they're going to start traveling. So Raw's going to be in one place. Right now, they're all in the same thing. So you don't want to do that now. It's too obvious.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Like one's in Cincinnati, one's in fucking LA. And it's like,
how the heck's he going
to
I know, poor Paul Heyman.
Poor Heyman.
It's got the private jet.
Then when they
That's a good point.
Then when they finally follow, Paul ain't going to know where to go. He's going to be standing in the middle.
It's like, wait a minute, where am I supposed to be at tonight?
Outside the ring, like, who the heck do I
So
go to?
the only other thing noteworthy was the Bailey Seth Rollins thing was kind of funny. I enjoyed it. Cesaro's back. So I added that to our
I like how he
predictions
broke the
for
door.
Hell in a Cell. I feel like that should be probably made tomorrow night.
Sure.
But
They'll
it's
be-
nice
they'll
to see
fight.
Cesaro
He
back.
threw Seth through the door. That was
We'll go over Raw, how Chuck watches it. We'll breeze through this real quick so we can focus more on Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
and our
yeah.
picks.
Yep.
Eva Marie debuted with
Ugh.
Piper Niven, who Piper Niven is a beast. She's from NXT UK.
I
and
remember
she's
her, though.
her and Ripley had a big feud. Like she's had some great shit
She
over
has,
there.
I
She's like
remember
the female Walter over there. Is
Sure.
how they kind of refer her to. Walter
Wow.
was very fucking excited to see her on Raw.
Oh, that's
Good
good.
for
So
her.
she's good friends with Walter. But
Oh, boy.
we talked about this. So we see this as she's going to be the bully, and she's going to use people to do her shit. And then at some point, somebody's going to get sick of her shit and become a huge star. And it might be this girl.
Sure.
I don't know. This whole Eva Marie thing threw me off when they started showing her vignettes a month ago.
It
And I did
did
not
me
expect
too.
this to happen.
You know,
I
it's
didn't either.
it's funny because they mentioned, or I think somebody it was broke like last week that was like Eva Marie actually won't be an in-ring competitor. Like that makes no
Yeah, and
sense.
the
Right.
WWE
Well,
announced her in a
here's-
match.
They showed her
Here's-
video things over and over.
So
again.
it makes sense. That was obviously kayfabe, and here's what they're doing storyline wise. My biggest problem with this is I feel like right now we have three very similar storylines. We have her and her together, Eva Marie with an enforcer lady. We have AJ Styles and Omos, and we have Apollo Crews with General Aziz. All three are very similar. We have the small star with the big enforcer. And it's like, I don't understand why we need three of these stories.
Mhm.
That's my only issue with all of that. Everything else, I think it's fun. I think it's fun to have Eva Marie win matches without actually being in them. That just creates so
Her
much
first
heat.
match, she didn't even do that thing.
So like that's cool. It's just like it just feels like kind of that aspect is
It goes
different.
on repeat.
But we have
Yeah.
three of these, especially with Apollo and AJ. It's the
Yeah.
exact same storyline.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck.
I got you. See how it goes. And it was one night. I was one of the few people I was like, who the hell's that? I was like, it's Piper Niven from
I had no idea who she was.
Most people didn't.
As of now, I
the
don't
announcers
care.
couldn't even
They
fucking
didn't.
they
The
were like,
announcers was lost.
and
Like,
Corey
who?
Graves called her. It's like, whatever. You don't know who, whatever.
Let's hope this book
Let's follow up with something.
this goes better than
Not.
that.
I just wanted to bring this up. Jeff Hardy challenged Cedric Alexander to a retirement
That was
match
a
after he
random-
lost to John Morrison
That was
randomly on
random.
Raw.
That just came out of nowhere.
That
Like,
was that not on Hulu?
That was not.
So
but
they didn't put Jeff Hardy's retirement match on Hulu?
No, but they put his conversation with Riddle on Hulu.
RK Bro beats the New Day.
Yeah, that was fun.
Another good match. Continue to be the highlight of Raw.
I'm waiting to watch Randy Orton do it above
waiting
Riddle.
for the inevitable day
Me
that
too.
Randy's not around and Omos and Styles beat the living fuck out of Riddle and Orton comes back seeking revenge because that's when they're gonna.
mhm.
SummerSlam dog.
That's when they're.
Oh,
gonna,
yeah.
Omos is just going to destroy Riddle one night. Orton's going to come back wanting blood, and that's
Yes,
when that
yeah.
shit's really going to pick
Summer.
up.
My prediction is SummerSlam is the night that that's going to happen before SummerSlam.
Yeah,
That
that's gonna happen.
whole
That's how you
scenario.
build.
gotta happen.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
SummerSlam is going to be, Randy and Riddle win the tag team belts,
Absolutely, yep.
and we see Randy actually do it above Riddle, and it's their whole thing.
Finally
Yeah.
put it all.
All
yeah,
together.
We have to book SummerSlam at one of these weeks
I'm down.
before
Yeah.
they start actually booking it.
It's only 2 months away.
Yeah, so
I mean,
It's 2
really,
months
next
away.
week or the week
It's not that
after,
far.
we need to book our SummerSlam cards
I mean, it's not
for
that
this
far
year
away.
because soon, like we already know most of the main events. I feel, but
Sure, we do.
before they start
Right.
announcing shit,
Yeah.
Rhea and Charlotte beat the living hell out of each other. It was actually a pretty decent fucking fight.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That
All
was
right.
pretty cool.
Rhea beat Asuka. Remember when Asuka was like undefeated? Now she loses like every other week.
She's a jobber now. Yeah, that's life.
And-
Honestly, I'm not a big Asuka fan, so I don't really care.
And the 6-man tag,
Yep.
McIntyre and the Viking Raiders beat Lashley Styles and I wrote Omos. Omos, my bad.
Gosh.
Let me fix that. I'm glad that one dude ain't watching, calling me out for my fucking spelling errors.
We know why it's
Who does that?
That one dude that you were tag champions with.
Oh,
Oh, Cruzy?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
does
like,
he do spelling errors?
Yeah, well, I
He's a-
spelled Cody Rhodes' name
that
wrong.
makes sense. He's a teacher. I believe. I believe that.
that makes sense. I would tell you it's wrong too.
He's a
but-
So-
teacher and a coach.
Good match. Drew pinned Lashley, so you guys know you've seen this movie before. The champion gets pinned the week before the pay-per-view, which inevitably means the champion's going to retain.
Drew's not winning.
You guys got the question was, does Drew have any shot?
No,
Ah.
absolutely not.
And real quick on NXT before we get to the pay-per-views. Oh, we got our top 5 too.
No, we got
Shit.
top 5.
We got a lot to do yet. We got
All right.
all kinds of stuff to cover.
All right.
We do.
Joe's back. We talked about it. Good
Yep,
shit.
we got that.
Adam Cole and O'Reilly. It's a great American bash.
Just to recap, if you missed
O'Reilly faces. So they made the stipulation where this week they get to pick their opponents. O'Reilly picked Kushida. Cole will pick his opponent Tuesday.
Tuesday.
LA Knight is the $1 million champion, and he started beating the shit out of Ted DiBiase,
He
and
knocked
Grimes
him.
came out and saved him. Grimes is going to be a huge fucking baby face, and he's going to be on the main roster very, very soon.
He will.
Vince is going to love that dude. So we'll do picks first. In Your House is good. We touched on that. The 5-way was to stall the show,
That still is cross one.
and you didn't get
Yeah.
turned off by all like the moves.
I mean,
There's a lot of spots.
you know,
What?
but here's what I'm saying though. I liked it because it was a main event, pay-per-view, big feel match. My
Okay.
problem is only when they do that stuff all of the time. In a big match, it's great all of the time. If I see that shit on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, I get annoyed. But you know, on a big pay-per-view, that's great. I mean, that's my biggest issue with AEW and NXT is they do big spots. I feel like all the time. It's like no, big main events is when we need that stuff. When there's something on the line, when something matters, when it's a big feel match like WrestleMania, SummerSlam,
That's when
Survivor
I turn off
Series.
this AEW. It's like every match is like that. Like literally.
No, that's how I feel
every
about both
single
AEW
one.
and NXT. That's like the Wednesday Night War stuff. It's like it's just they're all doing everything. It's like I can't. It's hard to get into, and then they're shooting themselves in the foot because how do you beat that? What do you do next week to top that?
Yeah.
It's gonna get ridiculous. like so, like that's where I like regular stuff during the week, big feel matches, big feel stuff, big feel super kicks, turn into power bombs, turn into pins you get kicked out of. That's great.
Mhm.
Big feel match, and like I said before, like a year ago, the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. That same shit happened and it mattered. It was holy shit. It's memorable forever because we only saw it that night. We didn't see it every Monday or every Friday or
Mhm.
Thursday, whatever
Mhm.
SmackDown was that week.
It was
but
It was a good show. It
It
wasn't
was.
their best, but
No, it was good.
the takeovers are always so damn good. It's hard to match. every
It's
single
hard.
one. Most of them
I
are
enjoyed
really
that
fucking
five
good.
match. I enjoyed that match.
The opener and the ending were my favorites.
Yeah, mine
But
too.
a lot of it's story building too. The Grimes
Sure.
and LA Knight ain't done.
Sure.
Zia Lee beating Mercedes Martinez.
That's not done.
And I like how you got the most right. You don't even fucking watch
I
it.
know.
I know you did.
It's like Jesus
There,
Christ.
there's something to that too, because like I always get like AEW stuff right and NXT stuff right,
And
and
you
I
don't
never get
And
Raw
you
or
don't even
SmackDown
watch-
stuff right.
Yeah, because there's no logic.
There-
You're just going on instinct.
Yeah, I mean, there's no there's no doubting yourself or doubting
Yeah.
what they might do next. It's just I have no idea. So here's what here's what makes sense. Am I?
My instincts was telling me no title changes, and that
Well.
happened. So,
It's funny you mentioned that. Hell in a Cell.
oh boy,
Let me change the ticker. There you go. Hell in a Cell. I added this. I assume it will be added. It might not.
man,
But
It will be
just in case.
it will be.
Seth and Cesaro part 2.
part
Because they
two.
fought once, right? Cesaro,
Cesaro
won.
won. Yeah,
Win just to
Yeah.
set up the third one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Seth, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like there's no reason for Seth to lose again.
So,
I feel like they're not done. You know what's funny? I'd have Seth, Cesaro, KO, and I'd make the Usos fight each other on a SmackDown, and the winner gets in the Money in the Bank, and that would be my vote for SmackDown. I
Yeah.
forgot completely about Seth. Seth has to be in
He
it.
has to be in that. Yeah.
He's won it before.
And then
Thank you,
Seth
Ken.
wins
Yeah,
this
he
one.
did. Yeah, he had.
Yeah, and he had a
before.
great cash.
He did. Yeah, he
Seth
did.
wins this, and then Cesaro knocks Seth off the ladder as Cesaro wins the Money in the Bank. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, it
you
would
get
be.
Cesaro the fucking title. There's your tiebreaker.
That's it.
And there you go.
That's it.
And then they could feud a little bit longer because Seth's gonna be pissed.
Sure.
And then
And
There you
Cesaro
go.
will win.
later, like in December, you'll book Otis versus
You sold me.
you'll do Otis versus Cesaro and have Otis win the briefcase.
Oh
back.
God,
No, I'm kidding.
Not a nightmare. Sorry.
Having with the brief.
He has to ask
He
Gable
wants his
first.
lunchbox back.
He did shave his beard, so that's cool.
Otis has to ask Gable now, so
All right,
that's
Yvonne,
what he does.
Seth versus Cesaro.
I got Seth. I mean, I don't see Seth.
Listen, there's going to be a lot of chalk here, guys.
There's gonna be a lot.
There's going to be a lot of chalk. I'm just warning you. This is a very bland pay-per-view.
You know,
Yeah,
I
it is.
think. All right, so we got Cesaro won the first match, but then after that, Seth
Beat
beat
the
his
living hell
ass
out of him.
a
Beat the
lot,
crap out of him,
like for like
yeah.
3 weeks in a row, and then Cesaro was gone for a few weeks. I think Cesaro was going to win. I think what you said is right about Money in the Bank. I think Cesaro is going to win that briefcase. I got Cesaro winning this match though.
Seth's gonna get his revenge.
Seth's already established. He's already going to do great things later. I got Cesaro winning this whole thing going forward.
Seth will win it, and then they'll tie it up. Then they're gonna redo it. They're gonna keep going
I
back
think
and
they'll be
forth.
together.
Yep, they're gonna drag this till then.
No, that's fine. But if this match does happen at Hell in a Cell, my official answer is Cesaro.
Who you got?
Okay, I got Seth.
I got Seth. I do too. I think he's gonna get revenge. It's gonna be back and forth between both. of them.
Shayna and Alexa.
Oh,
so
boy.
I was thinking about this one because I have no idea what's going to. It's going to be the last chance they have. It's going to be the last time they have a chance to use all this cinematic shit for Alexa.
This whole thing is
Because when the live fans come
confusing,
back,
yeah.
they can't do that shit no more.
It's gonna be harder.
So
Hopefully they get rid of this.
is
By
this
then,
where the Fiend comes and costs her match as she did for
I
him?
don't.
Ooh, I like that.
I don't know.
Like
Is he? I mean, if he's ready mentally,
he's big.
man.
They said you're just holding him off for the live fans. What hurts? What live fans are
I
coming back like
could-
3 weeks or
maybe.
a
Well,
month or so.
If that's
So, like,
fair, they might want to hold him off until fans are back, just so
Yeah.
to get the real reaction of his
Not
first
this.
comeback.
Um,
I can see it.
I thought it was an interesting thought.
It is
because
absolutely.
it is. It's amazing.
hindsight. Alexa uses crazy shit and wins,
She
right?
does, yeah.
That's what the obvious thing everybody thinks is.
Or
But
Shayna Baszler beats
the
the
Fiend
crap
owes
out
her
of her.
one.
He does, yeah.
he owes her one because she cost him his match. at
We all
Mania.
thought Fiend was
With
going to
Orton,
win,
yeah.
and he didn't. So I mean, we
Yeah.
all
She
had Fiend
costed
win.
him.
Everybody had.
On
Fiend
that
win.
note, I'm still picking Alexa, but
yeah, I am too. I don't see.
I don't
Alexa
think I
losing.
think the story's still building with her and Shayna.
Her mind play.
And Reginald's involved now, which I just read on Twitter that
She
Vince
about-
McMahon loves Reginald. So
She about killed Reginald.
I'm going Alexa.
I can see Alexa win, and then I can see Baszler win, beat the crap out of her, and bring back herself. But I gotta go with
Yeah,
Alexa.
I wish Baszler would, because Baszler would destroy.
I feel like
Alexa.
Baszler's going to beat the shit out of her, and then she's going to use some crazy shit to end up winning.
and she'll still be like Black Magic or whatever. Yeah, I got Alexa winning.
I
that
don't
match.
think the Fiend. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not a fan.
What you
or
said,
anything,
right?
but
What you said makes sense when it comes to the cinematic stuff, but I just
it's about done.
I
Like
just
if you're
don't-
going to do an epic
Yeah.
Fiend return with cinematic shit, this is probably your last shot.
yeah, that Inferno match with Randy and Finn would never happen.
Yeah,
with
a lot of
fans.
that. The Firefly Funhouse. A lot of the shit Alexa's been doing. Like I'm just saying.
You know what?
Plus the Lily. Like she
That
put her
weird
in
little
timeout.
doll.
So like it'll
It's
be
so
like
weird.
there's just a lot of movie. That's one thing I don't know what's happening. Mostly because I don't know what's fucking going on anyway. So it's
Yeah,
hard to
that's fair.
predict. But I'm going Alexa. I'm going to stay
I'm gonna
with the
go-
safe bet.
I'm gonna go with Baszler.
Oh, I dig it.
I'm gonna go with Baszler.
Mixing
'cause
it up.
just sitting here thinking about it. I mean, we know Baszler's terrified right now. I don't really think
Look
that.
at y'all picking different.
I think she is going to beat the crap out of her. I would like to see a Fiend return, but I don't really think it's going to happen. I think I don't know. I can maybe see the lights go out or something happen. Alexa gets
Oh,
distracted.
maybe like a tease.
Yeah. And then
I dig that.
Alexa looks up and Baszler's just beating the crap out of her. And
I like the odds.
Like how Taker used to tease Kane before the WrestleMania match when he actually did
'cause
debut.
The lights go out.
Yeah.
She's going to come out and be like,
I dig that.
no,
I,
and looking around.
sold me. That's what you're right. That's what's going to happen.
And
Sold
Baszler's
me.
going to beat. What's Baszler's finisher? Don't she choke
She's
people
choked,
out?
yeah.
And then Alexa's
chokes
just going to
people to
fall
death.
down, and Baszler's going to be like, I'm back. Never left. And then
I like that. I am too.
you pick your girl.
But I like the tease though.
Alexa, who sold out of her cameo spots, and Charlotte sold 0.
I can't believe
So,
that.
yeah.
What I saw? I don't know what that means.
So
What?
like cameo, you can sit there and they'll talk to you for a certain amount of time. You
Who's
pay, like,
Cameo?
Cameo's this app. It's like a video streaming thing
Well,
where
you
you
don't
can
want to
like
talk to
log in
Charlotte?
and you can talk to Alexa Bliss for $750.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't know
You
that was
pay.
a thing.
That's a
Oh,
thing.
I-
People do it. Like we could do it. You'd be like, hey, Chuck, talk to Chuck tomorrow. Say for $25.
Wow.
And you shoot a message to him like, hey, happy birthday. So
Oh, I did know
kind
that.
of thing. So
I did know that was a thing. The Office people do that a lot.
Yeah, and Charlotte got 0.
Oh wow!
Like she was trying to sell them and nobody would buy them.
They gave them all like 10 spots.
And nobody bought them.
Alexa sold out.
Oh,
Shawn
shit.
Michaels sold 7.
So she
of 10.
had spots. I got.
She still does. She has 10 because nobody's buying them.
Aw.
Fuck Charlotte.
You didn't.
Anyway.
You didn't want to talk to Charlotte, Josh.
No.
You could be.
Well, when you're the queen, everybody
Stop.
hates you, but you're
People
still
get-
on top. That's
People
how it
quit
goes.
being haters and talk to
All
Charlotte.
right, listen.
She ain't
We
going
got to get
away.
to more important shit.
I like Charlotte. Just not.
I do too.
$700
People are
with
just
Charlotte.
jerks.
Good
about it.
segue. So Charlotte and Rhea. I got Rhea.
I got Rhea.
I don't know how, but I think she's gonna leave with the belt.
Oh man.
And right now, the Hell in a Cell matches. It looks like both men matches will be in the ones in the cell. There's a rumor Cesaro and Seth could be put in the cell,
We'll find out
but
tomorrow.
3 in one night's kind of ridiculous. So
That
hopefully
is
they
a-
don't.
Oh man. Historically speaking, I've had very much success going with Charlotte, but the last time I picked Charlotte, she did lose.
Josh did too.
So,
When I pick Charlotte, she wins. I'm just saying, not the brand.
well,
Not the brand.
not the brand.
Not the brand.
Man, I don't see Ripley losing it, especially at a Hell in a Cell. This one's tough for me because Charlotte's been my go-to for a long time.
Josh, we know on video you ain't picking Charlotte ever again.
I'm rolling with Ripley.
I'm going with
I
Ripley too. This one's tough. I kind of feel guilty picking Ripley.
You guys
but
are like me. I picked Ripley last time. You guys picked Charlotte.
yeah, I got to go with Ripley.
But Charlotte's when Charlotte loses, she's been on a losing streak. Nikki and everything. Charlotte's just going to go.
It's just putting
She's
somebody
just-
else over.
yeah, I'll just call
I
it
had to
streak.
log on to the article and change.
She's just been
Yvonne's
losing.
pick because I thought she picked Bliss. All right, I got Rhea as
Yeah, you
well.
better fix it.
Bianca and Bailey. I got
Bianca.
Bianca.
I think that was pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
that is
Or
obvious.
Bailey.
Lashley and Drew.
Knock, knock, ding dong. Whatever the fuck she said.
That is stupid.
God, it's so
Don't
terrible.
say Bailey stupid. You're wearing her shirt.
No, I said her. No. Her gimmick, her ding dong, stupid. I
You
love
are
Bailey.
wearing her T-shirt.
Her ding dong gimmick is stupid.
With her like teacher glasses, like shut up.
I love Bailey though.
That's not fun.
Lashley.
Lashley.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think this is
Lashley.
match of the night, but I think.
Oh, I'll beat the hell out
No
of each
more
other.
Drew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No disrespect.
I
but
want to
that's
see
enough. Woo.
Roman, Mankind, Ray off the top of the cell,
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
or Dominic.
Dominic.
He's going.
He can
to
take it apparently.
He's not
But
done.
this is the most obvious. I'll tell
Yeah,
you my prediction for
thanks.
Money in the Bank cover Roman fights. So I got Roman winning every pay-per-view until next SummerSlam. Spoiler alert. I don't have him losing the fucking
I mean, I can't
So,
argue
like,
that right
I
now.
can't
yeah.
either.
Just so you know, I'm picking Roman.
Yep.
I'm picking Roman.
The only
too.
way he would lose it if they kind of want to do a Randy Orton with McIntyre last year is have him lose it in a weird bullshit way
Yeah.
and then get it right back like a month later if they want to mix it
I
up.
see Dominic getting involved.
So
in
we
this
got
somehow.
two different. So here's what's weird. So what if you guys tie?
Oh boy.
And then I just fight her in real life.
That's
I don't think it's ever happened before.
no, never happened.
That's a good call. If
That
we,
is.
It
if
was like
we
you guys have different. So like
Yeah.
co-champions,
No chance.
That's it.
We're not. We'll do co-champions.
we might have to.
That's stupid.
We might have to.
That's dumb.
Hey man, it's different. It's different.
That's it. I'm picking Mysterio.
No,
Don't embarrass yourself. Sorry, Mysterio. But
we'll have to mix it up. Go champions. This
Go
happened in the past. We can do
It
it.
happened in wrestling too. I forget who it was. Wasn't it?
But I don't think that's going to happen though because we have different picks.
Well, like if Cesaro wins, she has Seth, so you'd be ahead. But then if Bliss wins, she has Shayna.
It's very unlikely that we'll tie.
I think it's very likely because Seth's going to win.
That was
And
an ease.
Well, if you're so correct, then you're going to win. It
I
doesn't
pick
matter.
Seth. I'm just prepared. It's been a year. Okay?
Mr. Champion, don't
You
start.
get quite attached to something. Over the course
I
of
wish
the
I
year.
wish the NXT title was on the line
You
last
did
week.
kill a wasp with that
Yeah, I know. I
last
was
week.
like, think I'll be.
Oh, is there a
I
spot
was like,
in the
Chuck's
wasp?
going to start watching NXT because he
Oh, yeah.
wins those.
I loved it. I knew, it was
You
like,
do.
I knew I won that, but I was like,
And you did destroy a wasp last week with that.
you did on air live.
It's cool.
I got it on video on my.
I cleaned it off. So now
You cleaned up the dead body.
We'll wear gloves
So
when we
now-
touch that.
in light of Hell in a Cell, we did our top 5
We did.
cell.
Hell in a Cell matches, which I have typos in my list again.
Shit happens. I don't think John's watching, so you're fine.
You're safe.
Who wants to go first?
Anyway, whoever decided to do Hell in a Cell this week goes first.
This is mine.
That-
Well,
Yeah.
then you go first.
Yvonne got next week.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
You go first.
Find
Mr. Champion,
the
go
cool
right ahead.
banner. New Day versus Usos.
That was
Hell-
good. I remember
in
that one too.
2017. It the
That was the
pay-per-view
best.
Hell in a Cell.
Mhm.
SmackDown Tag Team
So
title.
good.
It was
That was
great.
good.
This was harder to do than I thought it would.
It
be.
was.
We're gonna talking about have the same predictions. We're gonna have a lot of the same ones here too, I believe, because like we've talked about all of these matches already.
Right.
Roman versus
That's
Jay
right.
last year.
Yeah, I
Quit
had that one too.
I thought that
Oh,
was
that's fair.
I
That's
thought that
good.
was a great one. Old school six-pack challenge. for
I remember
WWE
Oh,
Championship.
I remember those.
forgot
That's
about that one.
Armageddon of 2000, where Kurt Angle beat The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker, and Rikishi
I
got
remember the
thrown.
six-pack challenges. I
Rikishi
remember
got
those.
thrown off.
I'll do a hay truck.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
I do remember
man.
that was
Rikishi.
pretty sweet.
It's funny. I'm glad you brought that up. Don't bypass it. Don't fly by it.
I'm not.
That was one of the. You're right. I forgot about that one when I did my list.
I saw your list.
You're right.
You hit one I forgot to. That's
Yeah.
why these are fun because we. Remember, I'm going to go home. And think
Oh
the
yeah.
six-pack.
I watched
it. Was
it
great.
probably
Look
a year
at the
ago.
star power in it.
Yeah,
No
man.
offense to Rikishi, but like
No.
I forget how the hell he got thrown into. Like
I
you got
know.
Rock, Kurt.
That was
Taker.
it. Was right
Stone
after. Yeah,
Did
he-
somebody get hurt and he had to get put in?
probably, but that was right after he turned heel,
On
and
Scotty
I did it for The Rock right after Stone Cold got taken out.
Yeah.
So like that, he turned heel on Too Cool, and that's what that was. Yeah,
I
man.
remember that.
And Kurt Angle retained, and that led into the week before that. The Rock had my favorite promo ever when he made fun of the other five guys.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's good
That's
shit.
the Rock.
That was a good
That was
match.
a great match. It was hard for me not to.
I
put
remember
it.
the six-pack challenges. I remember
These
this.
top three for me are interchangeable. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's-
Cactus Jack was Triple H, No Way Out of 2000, WWF title.
I don't remember that
Mick
one.
Foley's
I remember that
career was
one.
on the line. So
That
it's
I
like
don't
belt
remember.
versus career.
Yeah,
wow.
man.
So
That's
I
interesting.
love those kind of matches too.
Oh
Those are
So-
cool.
You know how I watched
Mick
this
Foley-
match?
Everybody says, like a ladder match, you think of Shawn Michaels.
Mhm.
A fucking hardcore match, you think of like Tommy Dreamer or whatever. Right?
Sure,
Yep.
Hell in a Cell, I think of Mick Foley.
sure.
I think of him
You can't not.
You can't.
with fucking thumbtacks in his face and his head and doing crazy shit. Like Mick Foley.
Mhm, he does.
We talk about underappreciated with Kane. I'm excited for this broken skull with Mick Foley.
That'd be
Mick
awesome.
Foley.
That's
I
gonna
think
be
people
awesome.
forget how great Mick Foley
He
was.
is.
His
yeah.
story
And I
are
love what he
incredible.
says about the Fiend because they showed like a third. I watched a clip earlier where he's talking about like Stone Cold just naming people, and he's like giving his thoughts. He's like Fiend. He goes, the biggest compliment I ever had in my career. He's like, because he asked me, he's doing my faces. He goes, he's a sprinkle, a little more mankind in there, and he's got money. He goes,
got it, yeah.
he's like, the best thing I can say about him is when he comes on my TV, I put everything down, and you have my full attention.
Yeah.
He goes, you live in the
That's
age of
huge.
multitasking. There's two people on Monday night that I don't multitask and they're on my TV, and that's Lashley and the Fiend.
Wow.
It's like,
That's
that's
awesome.
pretty badass.
That
That's
is.
That's fucking
Can't argue
Mick
that.
That's
Foley.
Mick Foley.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
And the Fiend is three faces. You got Bray, Fiend, Firefly. So like,
No, there's
He
absolutely
is
three
absolutely
faces now.
comparison.
and
Absolutely.
it's definitely
That's
a
a great-
parody, and it's
That
a good.
is.
It's not. It's different enough.
It is.
Though. Like
It's not
It
the
is.
same
with the three faces of
because
Foley.
he was fucking Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and like they were completely
Man,
different.
He actually
things.
has four. Think about it, because of Mick Foley. That he had three people,
Commissioner,
and
yeah.
then his real his real life.
Yeah, he is.
Commissioner, I remember. Oh,
He was a GM for a while too,
I remember.
right?
Yeah,
He was, but they were. We actually saw him live. As
That's
a
right.
GM.
He put the bar together.
He did
he did.
But
Yeah.
he
Raw
was-
also needs a GM, by the way. I love Pierce,
all day.
but like
All
they
day.
need to split
You're not
those.
wrong.
I
Sonya
like
needs to be on her
Pierce
own.
is cool. I'd keep him on SmackDown because that's kind of where he's been.
Put
Sure.
Sonya
They need a
on-
GM.
Put
Sure.
Sonya
Why do you
on-
think like Regal and Joe? That's badass. Like
What they need to do is
people are excited to watch them. Like you're excited for the GM and shit. Like
sure.
they used to have. GMs
Remember
all the
Bischoff
fuck-
and Stephanie? Like they need to have
the
a-
rivalry to make SmackDown vs. Raw mean
Absolutely,
something.
they need to
I
have
put Sonya
a
on
heel,
Raw.
They need it.
GM,
They
and
need-
one face
Sonya.
here.
Yep.
Because you're
Heel
competing against each other.
In
Makes
Survivor
sense.
Series,
yeah.
you pick your fucking team. Like
That's it.
Sonya's
Not
on
hard.
Raw. I know she's training for an in-ring return, but you could easily put some. I'm sure there's somebody that's perfect for that role.
Sure, there is.
And
Absolutely,
then-
there is.
Rival them with Pierce, obviously be the babyface.
Kurt Angle was good. Like
then-
it's not bad. Like, and the thing
I
is,
think somebody like Paige would work.
Yeah.
she
She
did it
can't
already.
wrestle,
She
Yeah,
did.
she
But,
did.
like-
It was good when she
and
did
she
it.
was like,
That's the thing.
why
Yeah.
not?
And
If
some
it
people-
worked before,
Some people will say, "Well, we already did that." Well, yeah, it worked. So why wouldn't you not
you know
keep
what?
doing
You know
what
Do
what
it
people
again.
say all the
Yeah,
time.
makes
Like, you know what's
sense.
already been done before?
everything?
One-on-one singles match. And
Yeah.
guess what? We watched them every. You know what's else has been done before? A tag team match. You know what else has been done
Yeah.
before? A world title match. Guess what? You know what else has been done? People shit. People piss. People puke. Everything's been done before.
You got graphic over here.
So,
Jesus.
He is.
whatever.
Raw needs a general manager. That's the
Graphic.
All of it.
Needs to be the number one.
Hey, it is.
Mankind, Undertaker, King of the Ring,
I got that
98.
one,
Mankind
too.
got thrown off the fucking cell. Like,
oh yeah.
it's the most iconic
That's
moment
on
from
mine
that.
too.
Honorable mention, though, it was so close, but I couldn't. I really dug Shane and Taker.
Oh, 16.
It was close. If I
Yeah.
was the top 10, it'd probably be 6 or 7.
That was good.
Shane falling
But
off.
This is
the
the
cell,
tallest
so-
cell they've ever had, and
Yeah,
Shane
like-
fell off of it.
Of course Shane does. It's when he fucking
He
it's
takes.
like,
He always takes the
anytime
bumps, don't he?
Shane's
He
in
does.
a match, it's like, where's the biggest peak in the building? Because he's falling.
Yeah,
and
I'm
getting
falling
thrown
off.
He's
like-
always
he
taking
got
a
thrown
risk
off
and
the
doing
fucking
it.
kick.
That's what he
But it's
does.
good.
Props to him, though. I mean, like, he doesn't have to do that. He
No,
chooses to.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That was my 5.
So that's what I got.
That was very good. All very good.
And that's back when King of the Ring meant something, which
Yeah.
WWE, you can bring it. So they're pitching like Corbin being the king, and then he fights the
God.
winner of the tournament, which is cool.
Sure.
Do stuff right. They're bringing back Cyber Sunday. I just read it not too long ago. It's going to be back. Do it right. This is WWE. This is your time. The fans are never ever going to be more accepting of shit than right now when you go live again.
Absolutely.
Like when you have live fans again. This is where they're expecting all this big shit we talk about. Cena, Rock, all this. The list I made, title changes, all these people. The draft. Don't fuck it up. This is you kind of got a clean slate here.
Sure.
Make it right when it matters.
Nail SummerSlam.
Mhm.
Nail this road to WrestleMania. Nail the Rumble. Push Cesaro, and you'll be okay.
Push Cesaro. Yep, please.
Mick Foley gets
Seriously,
on his
though.
hands and knees in the Broken Skull sessions,
I saw.
and he's like, Vince, you have 2 Hall of Famers telling you push this
Do
guy.
it. Hashtag put. We should start that. Hashtag push Cesaro.
I like
Yeah,
how
we
I'm
do.
like push Cesaro, but I pick Seth.
well,
You jerk.
I got Cesaro.
It's about-
Hashtag push Cesaro.
It's about long term.
And also, we can also
Storytelling.
add, please help Kevin Owens find somewhere. Make
Yeah,
him
dude.
better. Please.
Kevin Owens is one of those guys, dude. And Kevin, the one that's taking the heat, or the not the heat, but the blunt end of the I don't want people to get over more in my company than anybody else.
Yeah,
Guy.
he is.
Owens is between Cesaro,
He deserves
Reigns,
better.
everybody that's on the roster right now. I'm telling you, in my opinion, Kevin Owens is the best one
He
when it
is.
comes to promos, talent, understanding how the business works. He is the guy,
He is.
and they won't let him have
KO
it.
just needs to go back to Raw.
I mean, he needs
Somewhere.
probably,
Yeah.
unfortunately, go back to NXT because he's just
so could him and Zayn be fighting?
yeah.
Yeah, they could be.
There probably will be yeah. Yeah,
Good. I'm picking the opposite of whatever you guys pick.
sure. I like that. I like that.
Wait, that's a spoiler.
Like Kevin Owens,
That's a toss up though. Yeah, KO.
he's the guy that he's the guy right now.
We can blame Goldberg for that.
Sure, we can blame.
Yeah,
I blame Vince. It's about booking, and
Yeah, it is.
and that happened in when Owens lost that in 2017, which was 4 years ago. Think about that. 4 years ago. The Rock's entire main event was from 98 to 2002, but not even that long because he really kind of went away in 01. So like his whole career from nothing to big was from Owens losing that belt to now. But you know, times are different. I understand that, but Vince won't let people get over too much. And I think
No.
Kevin Owens got over a lot really quick.
He did.
And then we're like, you know what? I think he pissed him off at a WrestleMania. I think I
Probably,
read or
yeah.
saw or whatever.
Oh,
He did something wrong and Vince like took it personal or something. I don't know.
Sounds about right.
But I don't know. Kevin Owens is the guy.
And Owens deserves better.
All right.
Owens could be the next
Absolutely.
big guy
He
if
would.
they let
You
him.
know who does not deserve better? Yvonne. But here's her top 5 anyway.
You know what?
Go ahead. 5.
Pull my list.
Jay Uso.
So I
'cause can't
got-
spell.
Who is it? Jay Uso?
Uson.
Us.
Uson. So I had
Fixed.
Roman like you
There it
did.
is.
Roman versus Jay. I quit match. Talk about all kinds of emotions in that match. Oh my gosh, all over the place. Brutal, physical, mental, all over the place. And then Jimmy coming out. Jay did not officially say I quit. We all know that. Jimmy came out and surrendered himself to Roman. He's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Why?" Roman's like, "He made me do it." And Roman's like, "I love you guys." And Roman's sitting in the middle of the ring crying. Roman gets up, goes to hug him, just beats the crap out of him. So Roman went from, it was just, I will never forget that Hell in the Cell.
It was
really good.
passion.
It was all very passionate, all over the place, but it was really good.
Of course, this guy appears in your top 5.
Who, Randy Orton?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in another one too. But
I forgot this match existed. I remember it now.
I watched Hell in the Cell.
When
but
she told me, I was like, "How did all this come together?
I
How did
told
Sean
you,
end up refereeing this?"
I know.
He was still part of the Wyatt family, if I remember correctly. I think he was.
I did some research. Like I said last week, I had to. So Daniel Bryan first, Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, special guest referee. Randy Orton was in the Authority at this point. Triple H was corporate. And Shawn, I don't remember how Shawn got into it.
Because Daniel Bryan HBK's school back in the day.
Yeah, okay, I do remember that. Shawn said he had respect for Daniel Bryan, and then Triple H put him as a special guest referee, wanting Shawn to make Orton the winner.
And he did.
And then he did, yeah. And everybody in this, I remember when this match happened, people was like, Triple H is going to cost Daniel Bryan. It was Shawn Michaels that costed Daniel Bryan. He kicked him.
HBK.
He kicked him.
Yep.
And Triple H got involved, and Daniel Bryan beat the crap out of Triple H, and Shawn looked up at Daniel Bryan, thinking, like, not smiling, but looking at Daniel Bryan like, thank you, I could do my job. But he switched him music and costed him.
They basically recreated, if you remember back when the SmackDown's debut, it was The Rock versus Triple H for the WWF title, and HBK was the guest referee, and HBK super kicked The Rock for Triple H to get the win. They recreated that moment during this match. It was what their goal was.
Triple H was screaming at him and said, "Do your job, Shawn." Yep. Shawn's like, "Let me do my job. Shut up." Like,
and in that promo with that same match, Triple H was like, "If you don't do your job," so like they recreated that entire scenario. It was really
Shawn
cool.
got hit in the match. Triple H got hit in the match, and Randy Orton won because of help. I hate to say it, but he's an Authority. He did. But yeah, Shawn Michaels cost Daniel Bryan. I mean,
he did.
That was a good match too.
It was good. I forgot about that. That was really good.
Of
course, he had 2 Randy Orton matches. After he was in one, he got 2 of them.
Him and John Cena was in quite a bit, but I remember this one.
They wrestled each other for 2 years.
Basically, all the matches for 2 years, including John and Randy versus the entire Raw roster.
Yeah, the other 2, I know they fought in a couple of other ones. I think it was maybe 2010, 2008. I don't remember. I'm probably wrong, but this one really stands out because you think after this Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, there was a segment between him and Orton, and it was literally the last time you would see these two in Hell in a Cell against each other because their feud was coming to an end. Pay attention to the last after this pay-per-view is over. Orton won. The referee got hit, and John Cena made him tap to his submission move, and Orton was tapping. I'm like, okay, Orton's lost. Referee's out. Orton gets up, beats the crap out of Cena. Ref standing there. Orton was like doing dirty moves to him, and then the referee's not seeing, so why not take advantage of it? Orton won.
That's why you picked it.
No. This was like one of the last Hell in a Cells with Orton and Cena.
So you're number 2.
Because their feud was coming to an end.
You lost me. You said Orton won.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so you had Mankind, Undertaker as well.
I do. Yep. That's
all right. We touched on that one. So then you're number 1.
Undertaker, Triple H, WrestleMania.
What the fuck's with you and Shawn Michaels guest referee matches?
That's what.
Oh, this was the end of an era match. This was a good match.
Undertaker came out in the ring and he's like, "I want to fight Triple H. I don't want to fight this corporate guy that whatever this is." He's like, "I want the King of Kings, Cerebral Assassin, Triple H." Triple H comes out and said, "You may have beaten Shawn, but you have not beaten me." And Shawn Michaels is always in that factor because he has respect for Undertaker. He fought him. He has respect for Triple H. That's his best friend. And at the end, Undertaker, his words, I still remember his words to Triple H, like, "We're the last in our generation standing." He's like, "Let's end this." Like, legends, generations. Triple H beat him. And then at the end.
That's not correct. Undertaker won that match.
Did he win that
match? Absolutely. Undertaker won
that match.
That's right.
I thought it was Triple H.
Nope. It was the Undertaker.
It was Undertaker. I'm sorry.
Because Taker, that was at WrestleMania. Taker didn't lose his first match until WrestleMania 30. Shawn Michaels actually super kicked the Undertaker.
That's right. That's what I forgot.
Making us all think that Taker's going to lose because of that interference.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. It was Undertaker.
It's fine. But so like even the referee interfered, and then when Taker kicked out, they're both shocked. So it was like basically the Undertaker versus Triple H and the referee Shawn Michaels. And then but when Taker did eventually put Triple H down, Shawn reluctantly had to count the 1, 2, 3.
You want to talk about something reluctant?
I had Shawn Michaels and everything.
Oh, that was the whole Raw roster. Look at that.
Cody
Only I would forget the Shawn
Is that when
Michaels.
Cody's bitterness started with them?
Probably.
This is where It's like, damn it, Cody couldn't get over with the entire roster.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's funny.
AA into an RKO. Can you imagine how badass of a tag team Cena and Orton would have been?
They would
Yeah,
have been,
man.
yeah.
Like they had a really. I'll never forget. I saw these guys live in this same year, whenever I was living in Cincinnati as a college student, and it was John Cena and Randy Orton versus Batista, and I want to say Mark Henry. I could be wrong. I don't remember, but anyway, like so they were like a tag team at a house show. You know how house shows they do their own thing. And so we're like, oh, watching these guys. Oh, they just used to feud a lot. And then they shook hands afterwards. Like, this is a big moment. Like, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that Cena-Orton feud was really something special.
That was.
All right. Now it's time for your 5.
Yep, time for your 5.
I'm scared.
Let's see how many times Randy Orton's in your top 5.
Shut up.
0, actually. But that was, I forgot. You both had 2 great ones that I forgot. The 6-man at Armageddon, amazing. The end of an era match.
Yep.
Awesome. And I could be wrong, but if it definitely was one of the last, if not last, Hell in a Cells before they became gimmick pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And and that match was incredible, especially
I don't know why they thought they needed to make it.
I know. That's annoying.
Or
It
money
is.
in the bank.
But and I also remember that match too. The Triple H shit take her in the head with a steel chair, and they both got fined for it.
Yeah.
Because that was
Like,
after
fuck
they
it, yeah.
implemented him into that
And I
rule.
knew Undertaker won, but I said Triple H. Oh, God.
No, shit
my
happens.
mind's lost.
It's all right.
It's too much wrestling.
I understand. I've been here drinking next to you. I understand.
I don't even need that.
But,
I don't even need that.
But yeah, so those are both amazing. And if I would gave myself more than 3 minutes to think about it, I probably would have implemented both of those. Because that end of an era match, it really was the end of an era. Like, it was a gimmick at the time. Like, it's 2011. It's just a gimmick, or 12, whatever year it was. But it's like, man, but like, it really was. I mean, you look back 10 years later. So great shit. But anyway, all right. What's my first one? I don't know. Here we go. So that's already been talked about. Not much to say about that. It was the first time that Mankind went over the thing, and it was actually an accident when he went through the cage, and
Poor Mankind.
over the cage. Oh, Vince, that's what it was. Vince didn't want that to happen, but it did, and he came out legit thinking Mick might be dead.
Poor Mick Foley. Poor
But,
Mankind.
Hell of a bump.
yeah, it was, you can't really. Everybody knows about that. It was phenomenal. It was in one of the earlier Hell in a Cell matches, not the first, but one of the first. And Jesus, they really set the bar with that match
They did.
that early on in 1998. So props to Mick. You can't beat. He put his tongue through his lip, not on purpose, but
Poor Mankind. Yeah.
Poor guy.
yes.
Oh, and you're sticking with him.
Where am I at here? Oh shit, I'm all lost. Here we go. Cactus and Triple H, you had this one as well, Josh. Phenomenal. And I'll never forget watching this match. I didn't order it. My parents didn't buy it for me.
$50 is too much.
Too
for
much.
Us back in the day.
I had a little 18-inch TV plugged into the wall. And, back in those days, you could, get the fuzzy on. And where I was at, it was channel 75.
Mhm.
It was fuzzy and the gray bars. But at the certain kind of night, if you really move the antenna right, you could see porn. And also,
Oh, Lord.
in this day and age, you could watch some WWE or WWF pay-per-views, actually, is what it was back then. So this match always will be in my brain forever because I was in my bedroom, my little 18-inch TV with a fucking middle antenna, which people that are younger than me won't know what that is. But I was messing with it, and I really got it. So I really couldn't see. It was very gray and fuzzy, but the audio was perfect. So basically, I was listening to Michael Cole, actually.
You remember when Cena got his ass beat by Brock? the
At
night after
SummerSlam?
Mania?
Yep.
I watched.
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
I
yeah.
listened
2012.
on the internet to Brock and Cena at Extreme Rules.
Oh,
'Cause
nice.
we didn't buy it either.
Oh, I
And was
got
just
you.
like, fuck.
Hell yeah.
So I feel you on that.
Hell
I
yeah.
didn't see it. I listened. I did
And then watch it later.
on YouTube.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's actually JR and Jerry at the time, but I was listened to it live, crystal clear, and the motions I was just kind of trying to follow along. But yeah, man. And then I actually saw my first live event at the Nutter Center was No Way Out, so it would have been right before that. So I saw them live right before this. It was between the Rumble and No Way Out. right after Big Show cut his hair. If you guys know what I'm talking about with that. But so like that match will always hold something to me because of how I watched it, and that was when I really became a fucking true fan. And I remember when Cactus Jack came out as Cactus Jack, because like he was Mick Foley and Mankind before that, and he pulled open his fucking flannel like Superman does, and it was a cactus shirt. People were freaking out. I'm like, I don't quite understand that, and I had to look it up. But yeah, man, that was good shit. That was probably should be my number one, honestly. But I just threw it down as I remembered it. But anyway, what else we got? If I can find HBK versus The Undertaker. This was at the Bad Blood, I believe, pay-per-view.
I miss those pay-per-views. I miss No Way Out.
Yeah.
Like,
No Way Out.
why not do Bad instead of Hell in a Cell? Bad First Blood match.
Yeah,
Lashley
I remember
and
those
Drew.
matches.
Like,
Absolutely, something different.
And
Rey Mysterio on a pole match.
Yeah,
Roman,
he should fit on a pole.
like, just something where
Yeah,
Roman
something.
can absolutely annihilate him.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, that
Bad
would be good.
Blood, No Way Out, Unforgiven, Armageddon. Like, they had so many.
Vengeance was one.
And then they
Think about
replaced
it.
them with Money in the Bank, which just defeats the purpose of the Money in the Bank, which was one of the
Sure.
funnest matches
It,
every
it
year.
was. The theme pay-per-views fucking killed it.
Yeah, like Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania don't matter because there's a fucking pay-per-view in 4 months. Like,
Hell in a Cell.
that's one thing they should do. Next year, when you make your pay-per-view schedule, get rid of these gimmick ones.
Yep.
If you're going to keep one, keep Money in the Bank.
Agreed.
I like
Yeah.
Money in the
All
Bank.
day.
I just love the concept.
It's kind of like
I
a
do too.
Rumble, a Royal Rumble.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, it
mid-year
is,
because
yeah.
it's in like July. It's right in the middle of the
It's
year.
not, it's
It
different.
kind of resets the landscape. If
Right.
you want to put the strap on
Yeah.
somebody, have them win, cash in, then it creates
Right.
big moment.
Sure, I agree with that. Absolutely. Like I like Money in the Bank as a single pay-per-view. The rest of them get rid
Hell in
of.
a
it.
Cell.
We don't need
cut.
Hell in a Cell.
We don't. Extreme Rules is okay. It's like
Pointless though because they watered them down, so it just doesn't matter.
but like they don't do Extreme Rules matches though. Like
But they could.
I know, like they don't even
could,
use
though.
the ones that you like. Backlash used to be like not just WrestleMania rematches. Like it would be the start of new stories. Now we're just seeing Drew and Lashley for the last year and a half.
Yeah,
Like
the gimmicks are terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees with that. Hell in a
Yeah.
Cell really lost
it's
its
a
meaning.
clean slate. You motherfuckers, clean slate.
Change it up.
But anyway, HBK and Taker. This was, I believe, 1997 Bad Blood, and this is Kane's debut. What I'm referring to
Oh,
here.
shit, I forgot about
Talked
boy.
about that before, but like this
Wow.
match was so incredible because it was the Phenom, the Undertaker, back in his heyday. HBK, when he was still first generation D-Generation X, Triple H was still his sidekick, and they were both so scared of the Undertaker. It's like, oh my god, that's so fun. And then just to watch Kane debut, tear the door off, cost the Undertaker the match because all money was on the Undertaker, and just the acting was incredible. I love that match, especially for how early it was, 1997 compared to now 2021. Like I don't know, everything about that match to me is classic WWF. I really enjoy it. But that being said, the 4 guys involved went on to be the 4 like biggest guys in WWF, arguably. So there's just so much talent there. It's incredible. Here we go. So that's it. And then this one, I think Josh also mentioned the Usos versus
That
the
was a
New
good
Day.
match.
We could say this is the best tag team Hell in a Cell match.
Absolutely. It is.
That I would say that's absolutely
They don't. Have they done many? I feel like there hasn't been.
Nah.
I'm gonna look see if there's.
not a lot. And I'd also say this is probably the best modern day Hell in a Cell match. Because after the Triple H versus the Undertaker Hell in a Cell at the end of an era match, I would say everything after that is modern day. And this is the best out of tag team and single Hell in a Cells. That hands down the best modern day Hell in a Cell match. They beat
Dude.
the shit out of each other.
On
Wow.
fucking Monday Night Raw, The Undertaker and Stone Cold fought Mankind and Taker in a Hell in a Cell.
Wow.
On a Raw?
Raw, June 15th of 1998.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah,
that I did not know.
I didn't either. No.
Mankind fought Kane in a Hell in a Cell on Raw in 98.
I watched Raw 98, but I don't remember that. That was
Triple
12.
H. Look on the Triple H.
11, actually. I was 11.
Wow. Undertaker versus
There's been a
Orton.
couple. DX fought the McMahons in the Big Show.
The Undertaker
Hell in a
versus
Cell
CM
at
Punk.
Unforgiven.
Wow, I didn't.
But they're pay-per-views, yeah.
Yeah, but there's some on Raw. It's fucking weird.
Wow.
That was weird. I didn't know that
No
either.
wonder Raw's ratings
CM
are
Punk
fucking
versus
pop.
Ryback.
That's where they got 8 million views back in the day. They had some matches.
They had
There's been 45
They've had some women's ones too.
Hell in a Cell matches since it's been created.
45? That's more than I would
They've
have
had-
guessed.
1997.
They've had a couple women's matches.
And
as
Triple
Hell in a
H
Cell,
has
too.
been in like 8 of them.
5 of them have been on Raw.
I did not realize that they had Hell in a Cell matches on Raw.
Yeah, they need to do this. You want to do something special for Fox, but a Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. 'cause They've never had one.
Damn
And
right.
they've had a bunch of
They've never
women's
had one.
matches in Hell in a
But
Cell
anyway.
too.
Yeah, this match is hands
Cool.
down the best modern day. Since the cages turned red and they're on pay-per-views, this is hands down the best.
This is where these two erupted too, because it was like match not higher.
I think you mentioned. I thought it was pre-show. I think you determined it was the first match of the night. We've already done this on the show,
Yeah.
but it was the first match of the night, and it tore it down. Nothing else was even
It did.
remotely as good.
It was like follow that.
It was like the only. It was also probably the most modern day Hell in a Cell that looked painful. They actually beat the shit out of
They
each other.
did.
These two teams just work so well
They
together.
do.
Yeah, they
Absolutely
had
do.
chemistry.
Yeah, so it was the first. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin beat the Hype Bros on the
Oh,
pre-show.
good.
Nice.
Lord. Hype.
Yeah, so I mean that match we talked about it's just good. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch
Why
it.
did they have to call Shane versus KO a false count anywhere Hell in a Cell match? Like,
Wow.
I
Yeah,
guess
you're in a cell.
You got to get pinned in the ring, right? So
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Make
the
it
two-
complicated.
That's pretty crazy. The
Mahal.
Hell in a Cell matches where the Usos beat the New Day and Shane versus KO, neither were for the belt. Jinder beat Shinsuke to keep his belt.
Randy Orton beat Rusev.
And Randy Orton
Wow.
beat Rusev in a one-on-one match.
Oh, look, Ty
Yeah.
Dillinger.
Hell, the
Ty Dillinger.
the other championship wasn't even fucking defended. Whatever. Okay.
Corbin
Yeah.
beat Styles.
Anyway,
Wow.
back to current day.
Oh.
And my number one of all time, which isn't true. I just did these in running order. But another really good one. I didn't put it down. I think it was Bad Blood 2004. I could be mistaken, but I think that's what it was. Bad Blood.
It feels like Bad Blood was the Hell in a Cell before the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
It was.
It was.
It really was.
Mhm.
Like that was where shit went down. I think it was 04. It could have been a different year, but I'm pretty sure it was Bad Blood. It was Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. And I think Brock Lesnar won and they beat shit out of each other. And that's what I remember was they were bloody. And also, I believe there was a sledgehammer involved. And which is different because Triple H wasn't involved with it, but the handle went through and like Taker got cut for real. I could be misremembering all of that, but I remember this match specifically though was really really good. It was bloody. They beat the shit out of each other, and this is back when Taker could really really go, and it was just back and forth. I've always been an anti-Brock Lesnar person, so to watch it, I didn't watch it live, but I watched it later, and man, it was nuts. It was bloody. It was a beat down, and you know it's always fun to watch The Undertaker back when he would go. And this was his American Badass. I mean, he had short hair at this point in time, so it was just a really hardcore match to watch. And I think this is probably arguably best Hell in a Cell matches of all time. It just is. And I think a lot of people forget about it because I think Brock Lesnar is honestly forgettable in his first run. I don't think a lot of people forget what he actually did. His big impact has been 2012 to now. But he's a popular person now for a reason. That same intensity existed back then. He did fucking F5 a dude into a ring post who had one leg.
Yeah.
I remember. I can't remember his name.
It was. Oh, I forget now too. Off the top of my head.
I did too.
But yeah, man,
Zach Gowen.
that's it. Zach Gowen. Hell yeah.
I remember that.
And so that same intensity was there back then, man. And like that Taker Brock Lesnar, and it's not a coincidence that Lesnar went on to beat Taker's streak at WrestleMania 30 in 2014, because 13 years ago, 12 years ago, they had an amazing feud when Lesnar was like 22 years old. Like as much shit as we like to talk about Brock Lesnar, dude's talent. And that match, I think, shows it.
Yep.
That's all I got.
We know how much you love talking about Brock.
We know.
I mean, back then, my biggest problem with Brock was he couldn't handle it. And I'm not saying that I couldn't handle it either. I'm a big pussy. But he was open about it. And I think I'm just jealous of the fact that he could not like it and go on and make millions elsewhere when I couldn't make millions wherever I'm at. So, you know, good for him. But like he was I think it's just like he was so talented and he just walked away from it. It's like, fuck. Then when he did come back to it, he's still making millions just to be there twice a year.
Yeah.
You want to see somebody that has no talent?
Stardust.
And he's still not a star.
I think he has plenty of talent. He just thinks he's bigger than what he is. And you know, that's
I saw something on Twitter today and it said, I'll take that picture. scaring her people. But I
Scaring
saw
people,
something
yeah.
on Twitter where it was like The Rock was named the #1 most influential person in America or something.
I
And
could agree
somebody
with that.
commented and said, "Watch Cody dress up as The Rock on Dynamite this week."
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can see that.
That's fucking funny.
That is funny.
Because he would. You
Cody
gotta.
Rhodes would.
Yeah, he thinks he's John.
He really does.
Here he
does.
thinks he's John Cena when he's really just like there's like the Miz, and Cody's just like he's right under there.
Cody is.
Like he's not quite. He's definitely not John.
He's
Cena.
putting himself over them more than he is.
He's
And
Dusty
he's
Rhodes'
not.
son. That's who Cody
all he
Rhodes
is.
And
is.
there's nothing wrong with that, but like
No, but you can't think you're bigger than what you're. And I think that's one thing that
That is
WWE is really good at is you don't get famous from what your name is. You get famous from what you can do. And sometimes they make good decisions, sometimes they make bad decisions.
well, look,
sure.
like Curtis Axel, he didn't get big because his dad was Mr. Perfect.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Yeah.
They
tried to.
like Charlotte, but like
She's
as much as I
talent.
hate
Well,
her,
Charlotte's talent.
you can see what Charlotte brings.
Sure.
Like a call up comes up and punches Charlotte right in the fucking mouth. That whoever got called up's getting popped.
Look at
forever.
Ted DiBiase Jr., dude. He was Cody's partner. They thought they
Yeah,
could
yeah.
really do something with
They
that.
They
fought.
tried.
They tried to.
They fought with DX.
Yeah, they had. I mean, they
like,
had
a fucking 6-month feud with DX.
the opportunity
did.
was there.
yeah, they
And,
did.
and,
They
and
did.
Cody, I think, did good.
As much as I make fun, Stardust is probably
No, I like Stardust.
between that and Dashing Cody Rhodes. Probably his two best-
Dashing, yeah, I remember.
Dashing
was
Cody
terrible.
Rhodes. I thought it was a pretty cool.
I
Gimmick.
thought it was
His
terrible.
interest.
I can't stand Intercontinental Championship.
Same.
I don't like that. I know everybody loves it. I like
I
the
hated
old
it.
school,
Hated it.
skinnier one with
Same.
like the oval.
Black belt, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait till I crops picture. What is Josh doing? Wrong answers only. But like this, whatever.
The belt that Randy Orton had when in 04. That's my favorite IC belt ever. The
This
one
might
that,
be my favorite.
the one that Jericho fought over, the one that Orton had. I that's the best. The best IC belt.
yeah, and it meant something back
It
then
did.
too.
Yeah, I did.
And that's arguable too. When Cody got it, that's when it stopped meaning anything.
That's sad.
like,
That's pretty
Can't
sad.
blame
yeah.
Cody for that, but
I
you
don't
know,
I still don't know how I feel about the current one.
I'm not a fan.
It's okay.
Wait, actually, no, I do like it. That's
The big gold one.
I like that one. I do like that
I
one.
like the white on it. I do. Gives it more color.
Well,
than
you audio
black.
listeners are fucked. For you guys watching, this is the one.
That's my
and Chuck are
favorite. Yep,
referring to.
yep, absolutely. Yes,
That one-
sir.
yeah, this one is nice.
It's the one that Randy
It's
Orton
funny.
had.
So like with my
Yeah,
wrestling
he did.
action figures, I still have
You
like
do.
the older belts.
Hell yeah.
Baron Corbin is my Intercontinental Champion right now.
The old school belt.
He's in a feud with I think now, but
Boomlog. Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Sorry,
pretty
Mike.
epic feud. They're going into a Hell in a Cell match
I dig it.
on NXT.
Oh yeah. Times have
Me
changed.
and you played with those action figures all the time, didn't we? We did.
Hell
fun.
yeah.
We did.
We used to have drafts and shit.
I
That was
dig it.
crazy.
I dig
But,
it.
Yeah, we were.
We made it through. We had a lot to get to. There's
We
a lot
did,
of
that's a
news.
lot.
I say this every week, but I like how news breaks like Wednesday, Thursday, when it's like I'm putting the finishing touches together what we're going to talk
Then there's
about.
something else.
Then it's
happening.
like, oh, this happened. Oh,
Oh,
Roman
gotta
calls
add it.
out Cena and Rock the
I
same day
don't
we
know,
record.
yeah.
So gotta talk about it.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
I really did like seeing that earlier today when I saw that Roman Reigns called out Cena and
Mhm.
Rock. It's like, you know what? I'm kind of annoyed that they're just gonna make it obvious, but at the same time, fuck yeah, let's
Why not?
just get
Why
to
not
it.
have
Let's get
context
to it.
behind it instead
Yeah.
of just? It's one of those things we know it's going to happen when Cena's music first hits. Initially, people are going to.
It's gonna be
Absolutely.
Like, it
crazy.
doesn't
It's
matter
gonna
that we
be.
knew.
Dude, just imagine and Cena absolutely, but imagine when the Rock hits too. We've been winning this shit for over a year already.
I think people forget how over The Rock is.
I mean,
Like, that
he's so
motherfucker is going to blow the roof.
He's
It's gotta be a
absolutely over.
huge-
It's crazy.
Survivor Series is one of the big four, right? So yeah, that'd be a perfect time.
It's funny too because
Yeah.
if you remember correctly too, back in the day, when The Rock first came back, he fought John Cena, and he came back for Survivor Series.
And it was-
The Rock and Cena versus R-Truth and Miz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, The Rock has like a thing with Survivor Series.
Hey, it's fair.
So it
Survivor
makes
Series is
sense.
a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's one of
is
the
a
big
good
four.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this year, WWE, it's your big shot. NXT needs to be part of Survivor Series.
Yeah, please add that.
Jesus Christ.
And not have fucking Walter get pinned immediately.
Just leave Walter out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just leave him alone.
I miss Walter. He's a good guy.
I do remember him.
He
He
being
just
big.
reached his
I remember-
800th day as champion, too.
I saw
Jeez,
that.
fucking nuts.
We could drink pints together, I believe.
You know, they should just make it mean something, man. Because they do NXT versus NXT UK. Because I know Walter beat not Ciampa, but Cole
What's it called?
years ago when they did that. But like, I want to see like Roman versus fucking Walter.
Oh,
like at
yeah.
Like I want to see the WWE's guys. They're all under the same umbrella.
Sure.
I want to see Walter fight Drew.
I want to see Walter.
I want to see Walter.
He will be.
So Walter Drew,
He will.
Walter Brock, Walter Lashley, Walter Roman, Walter KO, like Walter Balor, which they've been teasing, which we might get. Rumor is NXT is going to be in Vegas, their next takeover. They're saying that might be Balor's final thing before he goes back.
I get you.
You know, they cliffhangered it because of COVID, but
sure. I'd watch that all day.
That'd be awesome.
All day, every day.
Oh, and AEW got 467,000 people this week. So NXT is now two wins in a row.
Hell yeah.
On Tuesday / Friday.
NXT is always the better show. No offense.
And Khan did double down and say he's not moving Rampage's day.
Oh,
he thinks this is a momomentary lapse in decline.
Please.
So
it's rough.
It can be momentary if it's the beginning.
I still don't.
Whatever.
Like I religiously watch WWE, but there's not really a time I think I would watch WWE at 10 o'clock on a Friday night.
Yeah.
It's just not realistic.
It's not like I'm out with my friends or something, or
Even
like
if you were
I'm tired
12.
from work. Like
I think about if you were 12,
we
I'm
live
still
in the age
watching
of
that.
you know what? You know why we watched it when we were younger? When it was live, there was no other fucking way to watch it. DVR didn't exist.
Sure.
My mom didn't let
You're
me
not
go
wrong.
to bed. She used to make me go to bed at 9:30 on Mondays. Raw used to come on at 9.
I agree.
So
I remember that.
I got videotapes in their basement somewhere where I used to record Raw. And I remember I'd sneak up when they fell asleep and I'd put it in the VCR and I'd watch.
Oh yeah.
HLA was big with Bischoff. That's back when Bischoff.
Let's be in action.
Yeah, so like in the 3-minute warning or 2-minute warning.
There's 3-minute warning.
That's when they like bedtime, and it was weird. I was like 8th grade. But like, what
I remember
the fuck?
them days.
But
Hell yeah.
anyway,
I remember you doing that.
That was a good shit.
yeah, I'd sneak up and watch. She's like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons. I think that's something that for some reason the networks haven't adjusted. Times have changed. That was 20 years ago.
Everything's digital.
Everything
It
is.
is.
Like,
Hey, nobody watches live TV
Did you miss
anymore.
NXT? Let me log on to Peacock real quick.
Sure. Nobody watches live TV anymore. So why dock into live views? I don't understand.
I've always been curious how the streaming stuff. Some crazy dude said, "Well, AEW got like 6 million views with streaming." I was like, "No, they didn't. Like, stop."
I mean, I can't attest to that, and nobody knows because they stopped looking at stats like 3 days later. So like, I watch Raw. That's not true. I watch SmackDown 3 or 4 days later.
Yeah.
Raw, I have to watch within 3 days because of this show. So like streaming, people watch at their convenience. So that I don't think live views should matter as much as they did in 1999. And I think sometimes
They don't have a way to measure it.
this is a whole different issue. But old people, you don't. I could go on about old people all day. I'll just stop. But yeah, that's it. I think live views don't matter as much as they should to networks. That's where I'm going to end that.
They don't. If ratings meant as much as people act like they do, Raw's getting 1.7. Like,
wow.
I saw, what was it, 6 years ago? They had a 4.7. Now they're getting a 1.7.
Sure.
Like,
See, I mean,
and they just got $1 billion contract, so it can't be that big of a factor. They're getting paid.
No, exactly. But there are still more wrestling fans. Like, I'm a wrestling fan at the end of the day. I don't watch Raw live anymore. I did in 1999. I did probably through 2010. Actually, I can tell you when I stopped watching live. 2012 is when I stopped watching live. So, but I still watch it, but not live. So I'm a person that used to give them a view that doesn't anymore. And there are millions just like me. So
Raw's tough.
like,
It's tough.
Well, Yvonne, speaking of tough, Yvonne gets to pick our top 5 next week.
Next week.
And we'll have Hell in a Cell All Out. Trying to get more guests from other podcasts.
Yeah.
Been on Twitter talking to a couple of them. So might get some guests on here from other shows, and we might be asked to be guests on other shows at some point as well.
hell yeah.
Trying to get all the wrestling podcasts together.
Hashtag correspond.
There's only like 7,000 of them, so like
Only 7,000.
Probably more.
and there's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Oh, Cody Rhodes started a wrestling podcast.
I saw it. No, it's everything but wrestling.
I'm not surprised. He
Yeah,
did.
it's everything but wrestling. He wants to start a podcast where he can actually share his other views. That's not wrestling.
And him and his wife have a TV show.
All right, I'm done.
like
Seriously, I
Star
thought I've
Wars
had it.
and everything else.
I'm done.
The TV show
Yeah.
thing I've lost.
That dude, I don't care about Cody
I'm
Rhodes.
done.
I just don't. Bakley asks, thoughts on Mickey James working for NWA?
That's my face expression about Mickey
This
James.
is my thoughts.
I didn't know that, and I honestly don't care. Mickey James hasn't been relevant since about 2008,
She
and
has
I just don't care. I mean, it's nothing against her, but
We have no interest. No interest to me.
Her husband's the
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
Sure.
her husband was champion.
Makes sense.
I wish I knew
I'm
that.
not a big proponent of her making a huge deal about this all-woman pay-per-view. I actually have to defend Charlotte because she said the other day, she said, I don't need an all-women stand out.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
oh,
my
yeah.
God, for what
basically, don't watch NWA. Don't really care about it. NWA is
Sorry.
just for people that's trying to get to WWE or for people that WWE
we
fired
just
and
don't
they
have
need to
no
go somewhere
interest
else.
on that.
I mean,
It's just how it
NWA,
is.
it's just another outlet.
Back in the day, it was something special. But
It's an outlet. Not everybody can be in WWE, so you gotta go somewhere. It's fine. I just don't care about
get a
Mickey
TV
James.
contract first. Anyway,
We have no comment. Nope. Not really.
yeah, they're on Fight TV. Like we're easier to find than they are.
That's true.
Like, stop it,
Like,
That's true.
hey, didn't we interview a guy from Fight TV?
Dugan.
Jason
yeah, but they're
Dugan?
on TV now.
What?
We
Champ?
gotta have him back on.
He's a good dude.
They are on TV.
I like
Don't
Jason
ask me what
Dugan.
channel. Hopefully, you didn't watch this part.
Rapid fire wrestling.
Yeah, he's still champ too. He's fighting JTG again. It's like
Wow.
I messaged him. I was like, "How many times you had to kick dude's ass?" He's like, "As many as he wants." I said, "All right."
JTG.
He's fighting JTG again.
Wow.
I know he's on a show with like Carlito and Ryder and Hawkins. And
That's
stuff
Oh,
like
man.
that, too.
Does he still spit in the faces of people who don't want to be cool?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I don't know
people
if
who
that's political.
I hate people who don't want to be cool. Not people who aren't cool, but I hate people who don't want to be cool. They're the worst. It's like you could be cool, but you choose not to. Spit in that guy's face. I always love that wording. It makes me laugh more than it probably should. It's
His
so
little apple.
it's intelligent, man. It's really funny. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Don't want to be cool. They could be. They just choose
And
not
you
to.
see Carlito go up to the biggest guys like Kane, like,
That's the-
Yeah,
spitting,
that
like,
is-
yeah,
that
there
is
you go,
kinda funny.
spitting in his face.
Oh, and Fast and Furious idiot. So Archie, I'm sure you're listening somewhere. The Rock said his character in Fast and Furious is not exactly done.
Hobbs.
That's what he said.
He has his own spinoff now. He's in Shaw and Hobbs.
Somebody asked him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw the movie. It was great, and don't necessarily act like my character is not going to be
No,
back."
he's gonna be back. Him and Vin Diesel are like butt buddies, man. Like, I mean, they're like, have you never even watched? You know what you're talking about. He came in 5. He was in 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then he had
I
his own
watched the one
spinoff.
after Paul Walker died.
No, he wasn't an 8. I'm sorry, he was not an 8.
I watched
I haven't
Hobbs and
seen any
Shaw
of
too.
them.
Lucas made me go see it.
It wasn't that good. But he's in 5, 6, and 7. No, he's an 8. Yeah, because Vin Diesel's around him. Yeah, he was an 8. So he's in 5, 6, 7. He's been in all of them.
I saw that Vin Diesel said John Cena was a gift from Paul Walker.
No, Paul Walker's way better than John Cena when it comes to acting. I miss Paul Walker a lot. I really, honestly,
Aw,
without
Paul
all
Walker.
of your hatred and my love for it aside, like I honestly think they did it after
I
that.
agree. I would have
'Cause
ended it after the.
I never
It's-
seen any of this. Like,
To be fair, it's only been 2 cents. We've only had 8, and then we had the spinoff with Hobbs and Shaw. So 9 was actually going to technically, which seems crazy. It's been a long time, but the second Fast and the Furious since Paul Walker died. And sometimes you just got to stop, man. And Paul Walker was the main character. Vin Diesel
How many
wasn't.
more do they plan on doing?
12. They said 12 is where it ends.
Moly.
So we
I
got
think
3
they have
more.
like a nice round number, like 10.
Yeah, we got 3 more. So,
3 more.
All right. Well,
at least if they keep making money, they're going to keep going. But as of
we'll
right
see
now,
how
they said 12
We'll see how they do. A quiet. Horror movies are cleaning up right now at the theater.
because they're the
A
best.
Quiet Place.
Dude, I want to see that so bad.
Quiet Place.
Conjuring.
Saul.
Killed it.
And The Conjuring.
Conjuring.
All
Dude.
did really well.
They
At
did.
the
Conjuring was terrible.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I
I,
liked it.
I did.
But
too.
anyway.
I did too.
But I do want to see Quiet Place really badly.
I did too.
The first one was great. The second one I heard is better, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we watched The Quiet Place. the other
We
night.
did.
Oh, was it good? The 2 or 1?
One.
Oh yeah, it's
I
good.
rewatch. I've watched
Hell
it for
yeah.
a long
I
time.
only
hate,
saw it the
I
one
hate
time.
how he.
It made me not want to watch 2.
I know.
That's kind of that's how I felt
Because
about it.
Jim's gone.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
And I heard they were making a sequel, and then it came out, I was like, I don't give a fuck because Jim did, and I just don't think it matters. But then people said it was really good, so I'm like, okay. And he directed it and made it.
He did.
everything.
So like,
He
you know,
did.
because of that, and because of the appraise it guy, I'm like, all right, I do want to see it. So I'm excited for that.
Poor
and,
Jim.
and with The Conjuring 1 and 2, I really liked those 2, and this one just didn't live up. But it is what it is.
I have to download HBO Max one of these days.
I got it. I actually want to. I have HBO Max, but still went to theaters to see it because I love the Conjuring movies. And I was just like, man,
Is that the one you went to? Okay.
yeah, that's why I saw it in theaters. I spent $50, even though I could have seen it at home in my own home theater.
Fair enough.
But I want to go back to the movie. I haven't been in the movie theater in a year and a half, so I wanted to go. But I enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed Saul.
I did too.
I do
and
want
I
to see
can't
that.
stand that. That was for your birthday.
I did want to see. I want to see Saw a lot. I heard you said it's really good. I think it's gonna.
I
it's
like
really
Chris
good.
Rock, so of course I'd like it with Chris Rock.
Yeah, I like Ansem Meow. Oh,
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
There's some cliffhangers.
There is.
Did he say motherfucker at least?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna fuck.
All right, it is 8:00. We are way over our time.
We're running into frozen rope.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hit you there.
No, you're fine.
So, if you are still watching us, that sucks for you. But keep hanging out on the buzz. Go over if you like baseball. Check out the Frozen Road podcast featuring what's his name? John Hunter, the third, over at the Buzz. If you like baseball, check that shit out. Anyway, keep continuing to watch. That's not even correctly how you say words. I hope you continue to keep watching.
Hey, Rey Mysterio just tweeted out.
Oh,
And he said, I can't. It's eating me up inside. I can't wait any longer. I want a Hell in a Cell match tomorrow night on SmackDown.
shit.
He's not waiting. He wants it
We
now.
just talked about how SmackDown needs to have a Hell in a Cell because they never had one.
We literally
He was
just
watching our show and was like, all right.
Thank
So-
you, Mysterio. You're welcome.
Will the cage be blue? Just asking.
Holy shit!
That'd be
This
awesome
is
if
where
it
I'm
was.
gonna actually follow Rey Mysterio so I can. No, I already follow him.
That'll change our Hell in a Cell story or predictions.
Yeah.
I still got Roman.
True. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed the show. And that could be, maybe we're going to see Hell in a Cell
We'll see
tomorrow
what
night on SmackDown.
We'll see what happens
Yeah.
tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow on SmackDown. Yeah.
So continue to watch us, continue to follow us on all the social medias, continue to follow the Buzz on all the social medias. And until next time, continue to fear regularly scheduled hostilities.